Hello? Sorry about that. Hello? How is everyone? Hello, Clemo, Sala, Moa. Hello, how are you all? I'm good. That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm good. I've had a quiet day, basically just playing Animal Crossing in the morning, and then I was preparing for the stream. I also have water with me this time. Last time I did not have any water with me, and my voice started hurting like midway through the stream, and I was like, I have to keep going. But now I'm prepared. I have water with me, so I will not lose my voice during this stream. So, overwhelmingly, my subscribers chose the ships as a topic for my next stream. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. This is Hetalia ship stream. I put a picture of Austria Hungary because it was a really funny scene when Hungary was reading Austria's book about romance and different tips that he had for men with courting. And she thought it was really funny because that's definitely not appealing to women as far as she's concerned. And she didn't know he wrote it, or maybe she does, but it's not known if she does. And his reaction to her saying that it's a ridiculous book was very hilarious. So if you haven't watched it, we had got snow south part of Finland. Oh, that's nice, but also like it wasn't too much snow, right? It was just like pretty snow. Where I am in Pennsylvania, we've had snow earlier, like last year, the end of last year, but I wasn't in Pennsylvania at that point. I was down south, but I moved back here for school, and I haven't seen snow here when I moved back, so because it got really warm. So hopefully I'll get to see some snow, but not too much snow. It was cold enough to ice skate in my part of Sweden. Oh, nice. See, I don't know how to ice skate. I've never ice skated before. I've only roller skated. I hope the other people that were in the other stream are able to find this stream. I did make a community post directing them to this stream, so hopefully they find it. So yeah, I had some technical issues in the beginning. But yeah, we're at least some of you are here, so we'll just get started. So yeah. So I kind of separate them into categories, and so the first group is actually the top 10 ships that are on Archive of Our Own, which is a fan fiction site. I don't necessarily think it's like indicative. Yeah, so ships today, yeah. So I don't think it's necessarily indicative of the entire Hetalia fandom because Hetalia fandom is very international. And Archive of Our Own, yeah, there's some like foreign stuff with mostly English-speaking fans. We don't have much snow here, just it snowed a bit. Oh, okay. So yeah, but these are the top 10 ships on our Cover of Our Own fan fiction site, and so these are the ones that are most often written by at least English speakers, English writers of fanfics. So let's see what these top 10 ships are. So number one was actually Germany and Italy, and I know someone said that Germany and HRE are probably not the same character, but I decided to combine the two ships onto this one slide because a lot of them overlap, especially in fanfics. So, what do y'all think about Germany and Italy as a ship? Yeah, I also put some entertaining like romantic music in the background. Some of it's like very like tango-y, and other ones are very like dramatic and romantic. But yeah, just to set the scene and the mood. I love them. I mean, it's kind of the like the center of the entire show. Like if people didn't like them, some people said it is okay. That's interesting. If people didn't like them, I don't think it would necessarily work as a show. It is okay. I'm kind of neutral. Yeah. I mean, I don't see that many fans necessarily disliking it because then you wouldn't really be able to watch the show. Granted, you could like be invested in their friendship more so than their uh, more so than their like romantic relationship. So yeah, some people might like their friendship more. I can see that. Neutral side. It's kind of funny. Yeah, there's definitely like an opposites attract element to it because they're like very, very different from each other, and it makes for very funny interactions. When I was first making this slide, I was gonna put in like bullet points about different major moments of the ship, but like that would take forever, and I have class, so I ended up scrapping that idea. But one of the iconic moments between these two is the Saint Valentine's Day episode, and when their respective cultural ways of expressing love kind of conflict with each other and lead to a huge misunderstanding. And that episode was actually really funny to me. So sometimes I think they're cute, other times it's just annoying. Okay, I mean it can make sense, especially like I feel like with the show itself is not really annoying to me, but I can see how like fan works can be annoying if they go too far. But the thing about fan works is that everyone's free to make their own thing, and if you don't like it, then you can just scroll past. You don't have to make a hate comment. So moving on, France and England. That was number two. I have to say, I really like France and England. Like, I like their dynamic. Like, ever since I read Shakespeare plays when I was really young, and I started with the historical plays, and all of it is about like the latter years of the Hundred Years' War and the tension between them. So it's like an ongoing pattern for them throughout their history, and I don't think it's gonna stop. It's still a point of tension today. Historical pair. Yeah, it's a very, very historical pair. I mean, they're fighting right now. They're fighting right now. I saw in the news that England put out the Navy ships on the channel to prevent French fishermen from fishing in British waters, and I was like, there you go. There you go. They're fighting again. It never stops. It's never gonna stop. But at the same time, they're the kind of people that fight each other. But then if a third person comes in, tries to fight them, they defend each other like fiercely. I'm a sucker for face family dynamics. Yeah, same. Somewhat I agree with this ship. They're like old married couple. You can see everywhere name written next. Yeah. What? No, I think actually it was a German person, I think a diplomat, that said that. Did someone knock on my door? Anyway, that France and England and America and Canada are like one big family, and Germany's not part of that family. And I was like, what is this? This person's not even a Hetalia fan. What is he talking about? Anyway, historically they make the most sense, and like Sophia said, they make like an old couple. Elusart said, I don't really like the love-hate relationships, but I'm neutral. Yeah, love-hate relationships can be, I think, especially in real life, they're not healthy generally speaking. But in media, a lot of people like them. What are some of y'all's favorite moments of the pair? I think one of my favorite moments, other than them fighting with each other, is there's this one scene I think during World War II when France was hiding in England's place, and France was reading the newspaper, and England was actually doing embroidery, and I thought that was very interesting for their dynamic. That's when I noticed. I was like, so this is why people say England's the bottom. But yeah. Also, I'm gonna say that my internet's not that great, so when you post a chat in response to what I say, it might be a little bit delayed between us. So just to let you know. Yeah, this is why I have music for the long silences. So if nobody has anything else to say, I'll just move on to the number three. So the top third one is actually America times England. I know there's a lot of debate, especially on social media, about whether or not this ship is appropriate. But I still put it on here because technically you can make a story where they meet each other as adults, they're not. I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm not a huge fan of them as like a romantic relationship because I like the idea of England raising America, so that they have a more of a father-son relationship. Even though in the show it's like big brother, little brother, but I feel like it's very much like father and son. So I don't really ship it. But I'm not gonna like accuse you of agreeing with something just because you do ship it. OMG, I'm crazy about them. It's my OTP. Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean there's some good elements of their dynamic. Like I just like how they kind of stick with each other through everything. Like even right now, America and England are kind of them against the world. And not in a good way necessarily. I think they're more like bros than lovers. Yeah, sometimes the brotherhood is like a lot stronger of a relationship than what lovers can be. Because like divorce happens, right? But with brothers, it's like it doesn't have to take a really huge event to be split apart. And yeah, we have the revolution, but if you know your history, America very quickly makes trade relationship with England soon after. So yeah. US UK more like a father and son relationship for me. Yeah, same for me. Personally, I don't like it because I see England as America's father, but I'm a hypocrite because I ship Romano and Spain. Yeah. This one is always an interesting one for me. Yeah. No, it's not. I was the one that was late because I was the one that had the technical difficulties and had to make a whole new live stream just to get it to work. So that's totally on me. I still love them. That's good. Um, what else is there? I do think that England canonically cares more about what America's doing and follows what America's doing more than America does with England. I mean, one of England's hobbies was criticizing America's movies. I'm like, dude, get a life. But yeah, there's definitely a devotion that England still has for America, and but with canon wise, I think America is kind of like sort of cares about England, but at the same time, like every time England asks if he wants to be friends, America's like no. I've seen it from both ways, and yes, I ship Spain and Romano. Yeah, we'll talk about Spain and Romano because I think it's one of the popular ships too. I don't know if it was in the top 10. I don't remember, but it's definitely going to be on this group of slides. All right, I think the next one is place number four, and that is Russia and China, or the famously known as the Rochu ship. Um, I I haven't really looked into it that much. Like I don't really have much of an opinion about it. If you think of China as also the yeah, I ship Spamano too. Yeah, we don't get too over. We're gonna talk about Spamano. Then we'll get there. It just shows that he cares about America. Yes. Yeah, Spamano will get their spotlight. So Russia and China. My favorite Russia and China. Oh boy, these two. Yeah. China. My favorite moment between them was not even a ship moment. It's when Russia was dressed up as the panda, and China was confiding to the panda about how hard life is and how terrible Westerners are. And then Russia like pops open the panda head and is like, "But like I'm not that bad," and China just freaks out. That was my favorite. That's my favorite moment. There's other funny moments too. Yes, communist duo. I love this ship. I really haven't been involved with this ship. Yeah, I did find some interesting fan art of when with older China and little Russia. Especially, I think Himaria designed a character for the Mongol Empire that's different from China, but the fan artist used China as the representative of the Mongol dynasty. So there is an element of like Russia kind of China kind of raising Russia. So there's that element too. If you don't like that, that's fine. I love roadshoes so much, but I can never find content for them. Oh, I know. Like when I did the Some Things Never Change video, I did put some Roadshoe fan art in that video, and I will get around to putting the fan art links in a comment soon. It just takes so much time, but I will do it because that's important to me to credit fan artists. I'm sorry, but I've never seen the appeals for this ship, so sorry. Yeah, I mean, I can get that. Bruh, I didn't know this ship was a thing for years, but this is like number 4 on Archive of Our Own, guys. Like, this is a big ship. I didn't know this ship exists until now. I mean, the Mongols are different from China historically. Yes, they are. I mean, as I said in the anime, the Himuria very clearly made a different character for the Mongol Empire. You don't really see his face, but he's there. He's the one with the I think it was 2 pigtails, and he was like really being mean to Russia in the episode with General Winter. I think that's the Mongol Empire. That's a different thing. Yeah, weren't Mongolia in the episode when baby Russia was bullied by Sweden, Denmark, and I think it was Prussia. It was Prussia too was there. So it was Sweden, Denmark, Prussia, or Teutonic Knights, and Mongolia. And I mean, it's not necessarily Mongolia, but it probably is because like what else would it be? Considering the history. But yeah, another thing that's interesting about Roadshoe, the name Roadshoe, is that some people use it for Rome and China instead of Russia and China. So yeah, but that person did the fan art, and it's pretty beautiful. Just look, I think there's 2 people that I follow on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter account, I retweet a lot of Hetalia fan art. So if you want to follow me on Twitter and keep track of like even Japanese fan artists or other foreign fan artists, that's there. Yeah, I mean Mongolia was exactly it would have to be Mongolia based on the history, because who else would it be? Like it really can't be anyone else. So yeah, I think my Twitter, let me double check. I never remember my Twitter handles. I don't remember if it's Multilink Project or it's at Multilink Proj. So there's no ECT, it's just Proj. At Multilink Proj is my Twitter account. I basically don't do much on there, but retweet fan art. So if you want to see the latest in the Hetalia fandom and beautiful fan art, it's you can follow me there. All right, finally, we get to Spamano, and it is in the top 10 on Archive of Our Own. So you guys get to have your spotlight now, your Spamano shippers. What do you guys think? For me, I like their relationship as friends and as like really close brothers. I don't really ship them romantically, partly because Spain kind of raised Romano. But I always love it when they're on screen together. I always do. Whether he's chibi Romano, whether he's adult Romano, I just love it. I ship them. Yeah, yeah, you made that clear. But yes, I love them. It's great. Spamano. Tomato Boys. I did do, I think, I don't remember if I, all the videos that I did, but for Lost in the Woods, I did feature Spumano in Lost in the Woods, my video. Tomato Boys. Yeah, it's so cute. I putting the two TVs together and seeing that they both have something tomato related. I think Spain is Romano's father or big brother. Yeah, I don't know about father, like, cause I don't think he's so much a father in the same sense as like England is a father to America, but they're definitely like guardian and ward, like Batman and Robin kind of feel. Yeah, Batman and Robin. Spain is Batman. That would be a very funny story. I think Spain is Romano's father, big brother. I used to ship these two, but now I think they're more like father and son. It's the way they are portrayed. Yeah, Spain is more of a boss than a father. Agreed. I don't ship them. See them more as friends or brothers. As they're cute as f together. I won't cuss on this stream. I'll try not to cuss. Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of similar to like Batman and Robin, like the first Robin and their relationship. Fumano is my favorite. That's cool. I never understood this ship. I prefer them as close friends. Yeah, I think Italy called Spain. Yeah, that's Italy. Italy calls him Big Brother Spain, but Romano just calls him the bastard. I want a Spumano Batman AU. Yeah, I just created that right now, but I'm terrible at writing, so if someone wants to write it, I don't know what I'll give you, but I'll think of something. Maybe a shout out. I'll just like shout it out. All right, we will move on to the next ship, Prussia and Canada. I have no idea how this became popular. There is no like in canon like part of this. There's no historical part of this. The only thing is that Prussia is sort of invisible now because he no longer exists, and Canada is invisible because he's overshadowed by America. So that's why you have two invisible boys together, and that's why they're perfect for each other. That's the logic for the ship. I don't ship it. Because I don't get it. But that's the logic behind it for most shippers. Who can I will die for? That's so cute. I also like how they both have animal friends. There's Kumajiro and Gilbert here with their respective friends. That's cute too. I don't really like this ship because they never talk to each other. Exactly, I said that there's no in canon. There's no in canon thing. I think they are too close to each other, like brothers, just like Romano with Greece. Okay. I think you're talking about something else, Irene. I don't know. I'm more a Pruhan or Pruos. Yeah, the thing about Prussia is that like I usually think about the frying pangoal trio, and that's my favorite part of Prussia. Cute couple ever. I think there was this official art where Prussia ate pancakes too. They are K talked. Yeah, cute. Fukan was actually a crack ship until people started shipping them for real. Oh, really? Pancake. Oh boy, this one. I don't know how this one happened, but it's there. But the little Kumachiro in Canada's image is adorable. Exactly. Completely agree with the logical explanation you gave for the ship. Otherwise, it makes no sense at all. Yeah. I mean, I've been kind of lurking around Hetalia fandoms and like looking at why people ship certain things. What's my favorite England ship? Probably France and England. France and England is where it's at. I really like their dynamic. I like it and can see it happening. Since Prussia is friends with America, it would be possible that they would meet and become a pair. Yeah, now that I think about it, like Prussia helped America during the Revolution and Canada was on the other side. So technically that could have been their first meeting, and that wouldn't really have been the best first meeting now that I think about it. I agree completely. Thank you. Thank you. Canada bring Prussia's calm side, yeah. No, speaking of awesome trio, I've seen one when actually Austria and Canada meet, and they're both talking about their respective like awesome trio friends. So like Austria was talking about Prussia and Canada was talking about America, and they're both like giving support to each other about dealing with their respective person. So that was really cute, and I like that. And the only person that should also have been there is Norway to talk about Denmark. That would have been the perfect thing. Kumajiro cute. Prussia officially liked pancakes. In Canada, there was a city in the province I live in named New Prussia. Ah, the fans took these facts and the ship was made. That's cute. Brock all the way, all the drama we can get. Exactly, there's so much drama. There's so much drama from like real history and even between like the royal families that there's so much content you can make. Is Ingita good though after the snakeskin fanfic? I don't know what the snakeskin fanfic is. All I remember about England and Italy is that Italy pretending to be an elephant, and England was like, what in the world is going on? And also when England was spying on Italy and pretending to be Italian. Oh boy, France and England have too much tension together. Why did I miss that part of the live stream? Yeah, so I first went over the first top 10 ships on Archive of Our Own, and France and England was actually number 2. So they're very popular. The only one that beats them is Dorita, which is number 1. And that would make more sense because Dorita is basically like the focal point of the entire show. And Prussia can help Canada be more outgoing and visible. Yeah, that would be cute. Well, I guess I'm the only US UK shipper here, but I'm more fuck US. Yeah, but all three together, the blonde trio is the best thing. So the best thing is to add Canada there and you get a space family. Oh, true. Sound complicated, lol. Oh, sorry, I must have like exploded your mic. Overprotective brother France. Harry Potter crossover, and it was nearly 200 chapters long. You're missing out on snakeskins if you have read. Okay. If you have time, read it. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, I don't have that much time to read anymore. I can't even read like, I don't want to say actual books. I can't even read like the books I was planning on reading before. So yeah. England and France almost became unified under Henry V of England. Yes, I read that play when Henry V actually marries, I think Catherine was his queen's name. And it is kind of a creepy scene when Henry meets Princess Catherine and asks him to marry her because she doesn't really have much of a choice. So when I first read it, I was like, this is not right. I felt so bad for her. What was the number 1 ship? Dorita. Dorita was the number 1 ship. Germany and Italy. Yes. So yeah, that was kind of creepy to me, with Henry V meeting his future queen. But I watched the Hollow Crown. Catherine of Valois, yeah. The Hollow Crown show, which is basically goes through all of Henry, from Richard II all the way to, I think, Henry IV, Part 3. I don't know if they did Henry VI though for that series, but they did Hollow Crown, and Tom Hiddleston played Henry V from Prince Hal all the way to him becoming king, and he meets Princess Catherine, and that scene became so romantic with Tom Hiddleston that maybe because I'm a Hiddleston fan and I could forgive his character doing something creepy. But I was like, he's being so romantic with the princess, and I ship them now. But yeah, us English people hate the French, but also love him. I keep on hearing Doritos. Yeah, Dorita. Maybe I should like enunciate more. Yeah, is there a next ship? Yes, I will move on to the next ship. Sweden and Finland. So this is, I think, the only Nordic ship that's in the top 10. And I think that's obviously why, because they're kind of canon in the sense that Sweden likes Finland. We don't know how Finland feels, but he might not necessarily reciprocate those feelings, but at least we have one side of the ship that is canon. Dorita was literally soulmates because of the HRE times Hetalia thing. Yeah, but I think someone here said that HRE and Germany are not the same. So I mean, it's kind of up to you to decide whether they're the same and whether they're going to be soulmates because of that. Love this one. Yes, yes. I mean, the fact that England and France might have had to live together or something, depending on your interpretation, they're nearly going to unify. I wonder what they think. Yeah. Wife. Yeah. Like it's not necessarily canon in the sense that Finland doesn't necessarily reciprocate those feelings, but there's definitely at least half of the ship is canon. They are kawaii. Purest Nordic ship, also Denor is my OTP. That is cute. I think, what is this? This is rank number 7. And actually, I'm not wrong. There's another Nordic ship coming up. Yes, Sweden is officially gay. Yes. Alright, so the next in the top 10 is Denor, actually. So I was wrong. There's another Nordic ship in the top 10. So yeah, Nordic babies are getting lots of love and Archive of Our Own, which is good. I actually like this dynamic. When I think it was Beautiful World. I don't remember if that was Beautiful World or the other World Twinkle. But in any case, there was a scene when Sweden. I'll admit it straight out. I have a crush on practically all the Nordics, but at the same time, I ship the main ships. So yeah, I mean, they're all kind of attractive. So yeah, then no. So like the scene when they're talking with each other and they're talking about playing chess and like talking about whether Sweden's gonna come and attack, and it was really funny. And OTP, so much historical content behind it too. Yeah, there's a lot of historical content. I love this ship, World Twinkle. I remember. That's good. You remember because I don't. All the seasons kind of mingle with each other. I just know by the art style that it can't be like the first three seasons. So yeah, I personally don't really ship them though. Okay, that's fine too. I mean, a lot of people like them as friends too. You don't have to ship them romantically. Denmark makes so much sense historically. Yes, they do. Other than the scene when Norway kind of ignores Denmark the entire time and talks about his nails being broken, there's the other scene when Denmark comes to check on Norway to possibly raise taxes on Norway, but he feels so bad for Norway that he ends up not doing so. That was a really cute scene as well between the two of them. And I think, like from the Magic Trio standpoint, Norway and Romania actually have like a really good friends that like stick by them. So like Norway has Denmark, and Denmark is okay with like Norway's like weirdness, and then same thing with Bulgaria and Romania. But England doesn't really have anybody like that. Like America kind of thinks that he's crazy, and France thinks he's crazy. So like no one really tolerates his like magical abilities. I ship them. I can't read the flag thing because it just shows up as SJDK. Is it? I know DK is Denmark, but I don't know what SJ is. Is it Sweden? I don't know. I ship Finland and Norway because Sami. Yeah, I mean that's cool. The only thing is, I think Sami people are kind of their own thing. I mean, they are citizens of Finland and Norway, respectively, depending on where they are. But they're like different descent from like Finnish and Norwegian people. I'm not the only one who has a crush on them and still ships the popular ships and some others, right? I mean, I think it's kind of what Hetalia fans do, though. They like ship, but also have husbandos and waifus. So, I mean, not so much what waifus, but still. I mean, like for me, has a husbando shown up? I do like Norway, so I just noticed that Norway has a curl. Yes, I love his curl, and I think he's also, and I don't think there's a curl trio or anything. There's a lot of curl hair people in Italia, but he is in like the cross jewelry like group. So he's one of the characters that has like a cross on his apparel. And another cool thing about the Nordic countries is that all of them have a Protestant cross flag. So all the cross shapes are actually from the denominations they're in historically. Sami are in Finland, Sweden, Norway, and part of Russia. Yes, they are. They were the inspiration for the tribe in Frozen 2, but I don't think Frozen 2 did a really good job with that. But there's another movie called Klaus that takes place in Norway, and they show the much more accurate representation of the Sami people, and even including the Sami language. And so if you haven't watched it, I know it's a Christmas movie, and I know Christmas has passed, but Christmas lasts forever. So if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that movie. It's a very, very beautiful movie, beautiful animation. It's on Netflix. So yeah, they definitely show like Norway, but also like the Sami people in a more accurate sense than what Disney did with Frozen 2. I think it represents the fjords. Yeah, it does. The curl does represent the fjords. And again, the flags are the same design. The only difference is the colors. Yes, they're all of the same cross design. That's what makes it hard when you learn the flags. It's like, oh, which one's which? I think remembering what clothing each different Nordic country wears would help you to remember the colors. So like Denmark is the red and white one, I believe, and Norway is the blue and white one. Denmark helped Norway raise Iceland. Yeah, maybe, but I think canonically it's been shown that Iceland kind of raised himself, so he never really got taken care of, especially by Norway. I think he was actually attended to more by Denmark, and so that's why Iceland doesn't really want to call Norway Big Brother. So if you read, I think it was in the webcomic where Iceland was basically by himself and kind of raised himself with Mr. Puffin to help him. And Norway was actually a deadbeat brother. So red was a blue and white cross. Yeah. Yeah, see, I still got it wrong because I don't remember the exact colors. All right. Okay, next ship. I think this is number 9. Austria and Hungary. I think this is the only. I'm definitely sure of this. This is the only het ship in the top 10. The only hetero ship. I like this. I like this ship. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I really love this ship. I love it more than Pruhan, just slightly. Norway's curl too. Norway is just pretty overall. Norway is just pretty overall. Wow, them. Yeah, they are. I mean, I need to give them a prize because they're actually a really popular ship for a hetero ship. Okay, Sala. I mean, these two was canonically married and then divorced, but they still kind of celebrate the anniversary. The only head ship I can see myself shipping, not even Pruhan. They're not married anymore, so they split after the Austria Hungary Empire was split. I like them. Legend, yeah. I mean, my sister and I were like really huge shippers of Autumn. Because we just like that dynamic. Australian Hungarian Empire, yeah. Honestly, I'm wondering if it was Norway being attractive that first caused me to like him. Yeah, I mean, Norway is attractive, and I think his country is also attractive, like the landscapes. So I like and respect them, but I love Pruhan more. Yeah, that's fair. I like how they don't follow traditional gender roles. Austria's more delicate while Hungary's more muscle. Yeah, that's why I love the ship. The ship is super cute. I see them more like really close friends, but I still love the ship. I prefer Pruhan. Ozan is okay though. They're historically correct, but I prefer the relationship between Pruhan. This is a pretty popular ship, granted, but I'm more in Pruhan. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. But see, I don't want any ship wars in the comments. If you do ship wars, I'll ban you. But like, but having different opinions is fine. Preferring one ship over another is fine. Not shipping something is fine as long as you don't get into a ship war. That's fine. Um, but yeah, and another thing about them is a lot of people misunderstand the relationship, saying that Hungary kind of became less cool by being with Austria. But I don't agree because Hungary chose herself to start wearing dresses and start being like a girl and but also still being strong. She didn't give up being strong just to be with Austria. Like she still went to the battle. She still defended Austria. So I mean, I don't really agree with that assessment that she became weaker by being with Austria at all. I don't think that. And the thing about Austria is that he can be kind of mean. But he's never really shown to be mean to Hungary in the comics. So I don't really like that argument. I do like both ships, to be honest. Yeah, I do like both ships. I mean, the best thing especially for Hungary, is for Austria and Prussia to get along, and they kind of do. They have a special connection as well. Yeah, doesn't the anime say she chose that for herself? Yeah, she did chose that for herself. I think Hungary's always badass, no matter her love interest. Exactly, she's always badass. She's a badass in the dress. She's badass in armor. She's badass in pants. I don't like this ship because of canonic history. Yes, that's true. For domination of Italy in the wars of Prussia. Also, I ship Pruhan because they were best friends in the past, and Prussia is so depressed. You can wear those dresses and still be badass. Those two are not mutually exclusive. Yeah, Irene, that makes sense. Especially Austrian Hungarian Empire had some issues, not only with what they did to other countries, but also what they did to each other, especially Austria as a country, not the character. I'm talking about the Austrian authorities and how they treated Hungary, especially towards the end, the demise of the empire. So there's some negative aspects. But the thing about ships is that if you don't like it for that historical reason, that's fine. But if someone else ships it, it's not because they ignore the history or don't know the history. It's just because they like the characters being together. It's not really, because sometimes people like to separate the country from the character, and that's fine. Pruhan is so cute, and actually feels like a relationship that could happen, at least to me. Ozan is okay though, and I like their history. Yeah, Ozan feels very historical drama kind of relationship. Pruhan you can see in real life today, a tomboy girl and like a boy meeting each other, and maybe they meet each other in sports or something, and then they become like really close, and they become like lovers, and then blah blah blah, so on and so forth, and they have like a fun like relationship where they do like cool things together. That can totally happen today. Austria has this whole like noble vibe, and so it very much feels like a historical drama when you see them. Hungary though, hearts, yes. The fact that Hungary is a badass at any time in her history indeed is hard to meet a lot. Yeah, that is. All right, and then finally, Austria and Prussia. So we talked about Ozhan and Pruhan, and surprisingly, Pruhan and sadly, Pruhan is not in the top 10. But the other leg of this triangle, Austria and Prussia, are in the top 10. Is number 10. Yeah, those two shouldn't have packed too many different ethnicities into an empire and tried to make them like them. That will always fail, no matter all the old empires are gone. Yeah, empires that were successful are the ones that let different ethnicities exist in the empire and let them be. So that would include ancient Rome, especially in the early days, and that would also include the British Empire. The British Empire was less like I'm gonna erase culture and we're gonna this, but much more gradual with the thing. They did end up erasing culture, of course, but not in the very intense sense that other countries did, like France. Oh boy, this one is one I ship so hard. They make it so easy. Yeah, I mean, people always think about, I like Neo-Austria and Neo-Prussia. Oh, that's cool. I didn't put any Neos on here, Netalias on here, because it's like its own thing. People always think about when Prussia bullied Austria, which there's a lot of scenes of that, but there's also when Prussia was in communist control, living with Russia, and sending letters he sent letters to Austria. He didn't send letters to Hungary. He didn't send letters to even Germany. He sent letters to Austria. There were a lot of the words were retracted because of censorship, which is showing like how in Russia they like censored a lot of people's letters. Yeah, he sent letters to Austria, and Austria like cherished all those letters, and he kept them. But he couldn't really read them because of all the blocked out words, but he still kept them. So from a canon standpoint, they're definitely much closer now than they were like historically. I love them. Process for me has the same vibe as Frock, but in a less vibrant way. Yeah, I think it's similar to Frock, but also different because Austria is more delicate. Because England and France are both like, they both have their delicate sides, but they also have their like warrior side. Austria doesn't have a warrior side. He's very delicate. As much as Prussia annoys Austria a lot, he still loves him. Yeah. Also, Prussia cleaned Austria's house. So there's definitely a lot of moments they look out for each other. Also, Austria is worried about Prussia. He doesn't want Prussia to go away. He doesn't want Prussia to die. So he was really upset when Prussia went to eat England's food and almost died because he didn't want to lose Prussia. So there's definitely like a friendship between them. Definitely a friendship born out of fire. But yeah, I prefer Neo-Austrian Prussia. It feels like a manga or manhwa plot for me. A noble lady who falls in love with an ordinary guy. Yeah, I used to like this kind of thing, but now I feel like it's sort of cliche, but it's fine if you like it. It's definitely very typical of manga and manhwa plot. I think it would be interesting no, it wouldn't actually be interesting to see Austria and Neo-Prussia. That would be really boring. Never mind. Neo-Austria and Neo-Prussia all the way. I like those two too. And they both play instruments. Yes. If you go to Chloe, I keep highlighting Chloe the Brain's channel, but like she gets to do a lot more like story, like music videos. And so one of her first videos was Phantom of the Opera with the Flying Pangle, with Prussia as Phantom, Austria as Raoul, and Hungary as Christine. And she put a note saying that technically the Prussian Music Academy came first before the Viennese one. So actually the Viennese people, the Austrian people, learned from Prussia how to have a music academy, and so then they made their own music academy. So yes, so in a sense, Prussia was the one who taught Austria music. So in some sense, Austria should be Christine and Hungary should be Raoul. But yeah, it is definitely, you should definitely check out that video. I see why people ship them with the enemies to lovers type thing, but I just don't see it working with them. More so friends in modernish times, yeah. Oh, great! I saw fan art of that. Yeah, yeah. There's actual fan art too, which is why I've used it and Chloe's used it. All right. So the next section is flash ships. So these are all the ships. So flash ships are only going to include two guys together. I have a separate category for two girls together. This was an alphabetical order, so it's not an order of popularity at all. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of characters multiple times with different people each time. All right. So I was wondering if I should remove this or not. I did censor some of the ships because some of them made me really uncomfortable, like people that ship Sealand with any grown-up character. I was like, nope, I'm not going to include this in the slides. But I ended up still including America and Canada because it's still sort of popular. So I wanted to see what you guys think of it. For me, I think of them as purely brothers, and it's almost incestuous because they're basically twins. So I don't really ship them at all. But yeah, what do you guys think? Well, a big no for me. Exactly. N-O, no. Yeah, it's a big no for me too. But if you do like it, it's fine too. But like but you have to understand why we don't like it, which is because they're brothers and they're twins. And also, like people, for some reason, like twincest is like popular, and I'm like, why? Because that makes me uncomfortable because I'm a twin, and it's like, no, it's a big no for me. I just remembered when Norway became independent for good from Sweden, the people decided to stay in monarchy and elected a Danish prince to be their king. Oh, I like. It is okay for me. And I don't like the ship at all. They are brothers. I don't ship it, but I found it really good between the two. What? That changed your opinion? Why? I guess you could play with the doppelganger trope in a fanfic. So like doppelgangers, they're not necessarily twins. They're two people that look very similar, and especially according to German legend, when you meet your doppelganger, you'd like die. But it doesn't have to be that scary. But you could definitely like play on the doppelganger thing between them, like kind of like the pop Prince and the Pauper and that kind of stuff. You could definitely play with it because in Prince and the Pauper they're not brothers. So yeah. As a healthy twins relationship, yes, but not an incest way. I saw them more brotherly. I don't think they're brothers. It makes little sense. I mean, if you don't think they're brothers, that's fine. For me, they're brothers, so it's America and Canada. I'm wondering how this ship came to be. Why I ship these two? I mean, if you ship them, it's fine because they're not actually brothers in the sense that like, they were born from the same mother and they like. In some ways, at least in the dub version, there's a scene when Canada talks about his grandma, and America says your grandma sounds hot. So if they were actually brothers, they technically share that grandma. So at least in the dub version, they're not canonically brothers in like a genetic sense. But that's pretty much it. But I can't speak for the sub because like I put more weight into the sub as far as canon. Because like the dub is full of like jokes and stuff that's not necessarily canon. The history between them can suggest that they're brothers. Yeah, I mean, well, they're both colonies of England. They're both in North America. They both had to deal with and still have to deal with their relationship with Native American tribes. They fought alongside each other. Well, yeah, when they were playing catch, yeah. But I won't say that's like makes them canonically not brothers at all because that's how it says in the anime. Because that's dub, and it's like people write all kinds of stuff for the dub scripts. America and Canada are less close than Germany and Prussia, but closer than Germany and Austria. Yeah, that's fair. And Germany calls Austria his brother, so I mean, but Austria doesn't call Germany his brother, so I mean it's a one-sided brotherhood. Germany's like, he's my brother, and I have to deal with him. And I'm like, Austria doesn't even call you his brother, so you don't have to deal with him. They do have the longest unguarded border in history. Yeah, this is the first time we've had to close borders with each other, and I think mostly on Canada's side. But even then, there's still trade going on, so anything that's like essential is still going through between the two. So yeah. All right. What's next? America and China. I think what really started this ship, other than like some history stuff, is the scene when they're both staying on the island and the allies got separated, and America and China were the ones that ended up together in that on the island, and they had to figure out how to survive with each other. They live with each other too. Yes, America and Canada like they don't want to say live with each other. I think they like share like a really big house and like each that should be like neighbors. You know what I mean? Like so they're like roommates. So like if I was so my country if my room was a country and then next door is like another country. That's the idea. Oh boy, yes. I can make a lot of jokes, especially now. But I'm not gonna talk about what's going on right now because it's just too fraught with politics. So I don't want to get into it. But historically, China did support America's revolution. People don't learn about that in history class, but China was keeping an eye on the American Revolution and even sent aid to America to go against England. So yeah, everybody hated England, even China, and that was before the Opium War. Okay, they were like, I hate England. We all hate England. I like Amechu. Oh, that's cute. That's like a cute name. Oh, also the panda exchange is important too. That's another interaction between them. It's not in the anime, but it's in the comic. And China not only gives pandas to America, but also other countries. But giving the pandas to America was a huge deal. Cause I think that was the first time they really did something like that. And it was really funny when the pandas were returned to China from America as promised. And the pandas in the comic were like, "We want crackers. We want American crackers." And China was like, "But like bamboo though, like bamboo is your real food." And like, "No, we want American crackers." Honestly, with the current political atmosphere, these two might be on tense terms. Yeah, on tense right now. Yeah. I feel like there's another funny scene when China recommends tea for America's weight loss, and he doesn't like tea. Oh, more like 2020 Cold War. Yeah, yeah. I hope it doesn't become anything more than a Cold War. It's great because like my family's in Korea, and Korea is like right in the middle of that. Oh dear, what are we gonna do? If you think of China is kind of separate from the current country, but also because he also represents like all the other ancient dynasties, and so like I think America in that sense has a really big like respect for like the ancient Chinese ways. Ship name Orange Chicken or Amechu. Yeah, that's cute. America loves China's food. Yeah, except China's food is Americanized by Chinese people because they know that's what sells. Fortune cookies too was made by Chinese Americans in America. It's an interesting thing about the diaspora of foods in America that come from other countries but aren't really quite like the foods back in their home countries, and that's fine. I think that's fine. So people go like, it's not authentic Chinese, it's not authentic Italian, blah blah blah. But like, whatever. Like the people that came from there still came here and still came up with these different recipes to adjust to a new place that doesn't necessarily have all the ingredients that they're used to using, or just generally using like what people would consider lower class foods in their home country, because a lot of those people were like from poorer classes who wanted to come to America for a new life. And so like in Italy, if you go to Italy and go eat at a high class restaurant, you're not going to get that much garlic because garlic was considered lower class food. But in America, a lot of those especially Southern Italians, they like putting garlic in their food, and they came to America, started their restaurants, put a lot of garlic in their food, and Americans like it too, and that's fine. So it's not authentic Italian, gourmet food, but it's still fine. So yeah, smiles. I'm glad you all agree. All right, America and Iceland. I was mixed about putting this on here because Iceland is very young, but America's also young. So I'll just put this on here and see what you guys think. It's definitely a rare ship, a rare pair. So I was like, oh, this exists. But it does. I think because I have no idea. I mean, America does send a lot of foreign exchange students to Iceland because Iceland is very popular for students to go to. So if it's not France, if it's not Spain, it's Iceland because Iceland is gorgeous. What? You're like, what? What is this? Does this exist? It was on the wiki. I got all these ships from the wiki. Wait, how is this ship a thing? How? I think that was one interaction. How the heck did this happen? Never heard of it. I mean, I never heard of it too, but I saw it on the wiki and I put it on here. Technically, Iceland is older than America. Oh yeah, technically, yes. But America has a big presence, so that's why he's bigger now. And I don't ship them. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't expect anybody to like ship them. That's weird because he's physical. I mean, America's 19, so he's barely an adult. But I guess it is still weird. How old is Iceland's like physical age? Like Iceland has technically lived longer. How does ages even work? So like with the countries, Humorio uses ages both for the amount of influence they have, but also like general perception about them as their age. So like America is perpetually 19 because even though he has a lot of influence and is a very powerful country, he can't really be older because he has a very short history. And he's still also like a lot of Americans are very naive and like not very knowledgeable about the world. So that's why he's still 19. Iceland is 17 because he's just like a really tiny country and doesn't have much like influence over like international affairs. Okay. Yeah. So 19 and 17. So what have been so Iceland is 17, so depending on where you are, it's in the states that could still be legal, but it's definitely pushing it. Definitely pushing it. Maybe if it was like Iceland is somewhere between 15 and 20. Is that what it says in the wiki? Maybe 16 to 17 if I had to guess. Yeah, I mean, maybe if America was also 17, it wouldn't be as weird. But since he's 19, it definitely makes it a little weird. Alright. America and Korea. This makes a lot more sense. And these are my dads. I wonder what Mr. Poppin would think of ships involving Iceland, including this one. He probably cussed us out. Oh yeah, there was like an Iceland ship with like Denmark, and I was like, nope, I'm not gonna put this on the slide. It's weird. I don't think I put that on the slide. I'm pretty sure. If I did, I'm gonna skip it. That was weird. Anyway, XD. Yeah, America and Korea are my parents, y'all, so you can't hate them. But let's not talk about item ships. That's like we're not talking about that. We're talking about the team characters. Yeah. Wait, these are my dads. So you can't not ship them. No. If you really like America and Korea and their history, I highly recommend the Mr. Sunshine drama. It's a sad drama. It is on Netflix, and it definitely talks about the American and Korean relationship and problems in America, problems in Korea, good things about America, good things about Korea. So yeah. I have mixed thoughts about this because I'm Korean born. I'm currently living in the United States, so technically my dad's too. Exactly, I'm also Korean born. So yeah, they're my dads. So yeah, if you like sad dramas, it does have a sad ending. I will just warn you about that. But if you like sad K-dramas, Mr. Sunshine on Netflix is beautifully done. I haven't seen such stunning camera work in my life. It is so beautiful, especially the ending stills in each episode. It's, oh my goodness, my breath was taken away. I felt like I was watching an anime. You know those like one of those art animes where you see the leaves and cherry blossoms flying? Yeah, it's like that, but live action and like beautiful. So yeah, and it definitely talks a lot about America and Korea. Yeah, Korea has growing influence in America. America also has growing influence in Korea. TMI, but I'm ethnic Korean. That's not TMI. I'm also like there's a lot of Koreans among my subscribers. So about Mr. Sunshine, yeah, it has a sad ending, but then again, history. Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot, but it also talks about Japan and a little bit about Russia I think English people show up there too. So it's definitely a lot of like, and I think German people show up as well. So there's a lot of different like elements in that in the show. I watched my Korean daughter Isla, and it was about Korean War. I might have seen something about it. I don't remember. I've watched so much stuff. I don't. If I had watched it, I definitely didn't. It definitely did not make as much of an impact with me as Mr. Sunshine did. Also, when I watched it with my mom, we had to wait a week or so for our next episode at some point because it was Chuseok. Yeah, I didn't watch it live. I binge watched it. I binge watched it on Netflix. Like, I mean, I didn't watch it all in one binge, but like, I basically, because I can't wait. I can't wait for live shows. If something's going on live, I just don't watch it and watch it later when it's fully uploaded somewhere. Because I literally cannot wait. If I have to wait, then I end up not finishing it. Because something comes up that week, then I have to do, and so I don't have time to watch it that week. So yeah, that's me. I just binge watch things. Also, if you really like love triangles, this is actually a love rectangle in Mr. Sunshine, but all the different legs like don't fight with each other. So if you really like romances, there's a lot of that too in that show. So yeah, it's a good show. There's a lot of strong characters. Every character shows up as a strong character. All right. Now that's enough about America and Korea because it's making me feel sad. And we'll move on to America and Japan, which is a totally different thing. We've got the black ship scene. We've got current, America is a weeaboo. There's a lot of American weeaboos, even though a lot of them were in the closet for years. I think the male lead actor would have brought in a lot of attention for Mr. Sunshine. Yes, especially since he did show up in some Hollywood movies. I think his name is Lee Byung-hun. I think that's his name, but yeah. But I personally like Kim Hee-sung more than him, than Eugene. Oh jeez, this one. Yeah, I mean us Koreans aren't really huge fans of Japan in general, so we're kind of like, America and Japan. I have comic exactly, exactly. Us Koreans are like, I don't like this. Cause like. America, as much as I love America, they're responsible for coming to Japan, introducing Japan to Western imperialism, inspiring Japan to do Meiji restoration stuff, which then inspired them to be Japanese imperialists, and then Japanese imperialists were like really mean to the rest of Asia for like the rest of the 20th century. So, yeah, we definitely don't like how this relationship started. But right now it's fine. Like the cartoon lovers and the weebs, yeah, that's cute. Also, like the episodes together were really cute. Like when Japan sang over America briefly, and talking about baths and stuff. That was cute. I see them as besties. I love the Ameripan moments. Exactly. I love the Ameripan moments. Also like the time when Japan was shocked by America's French fries. In McDonald's. I think there was actually a joke about something else, but even the French fries difference was funny, as well as America being shocked at Japan's French fries and how small they are. So it technically planted the seeds for Korea losing its independence. Exactly, but at the same time, America makes up for it because America actually was very supportive of Korea's independence. They didn't really want Japan to become an empire by the time you get to like Roosevelt's presidency. The only reason why they weren't able to help Korea was because Korea asked Russia to help them, and that was a big mistake. They should have asked America. The other thing is they also helped Korea in the Korean War. So I mean, I can't really be like, oh my gosh, Korea. No, I mean, oh my gosh, America. How could you? So, because they made up for it. That's fine. I see them as besties. Yeah, I like the American moments too in the actual show. Jeez, my poor country. Yeah. But like, Korea also did it to themselves. Like, I don't want to be like acting like, oh my god, they're victims and everything. Korea put it on themselves too. As you see, if you watch Mr. Sunshine, you see the issues with the social stratification in Korea. That's there. So, I mean, they did it to themselves too. So it's not just about, oh my gosh, how could America do this? Oh my gosh, how come Japan did this? Yeah, it's them, but it's also you. Like yeah, you're responsible for helping yourself. And if you're not prepared, it's on you. So there's that too. So I feel bad for like the individual people, but as far as like the authorities are concerned, they did a very poor job in preparing for the times. All right, Australia and New Zealand. I mean, they're both kind of off to the side, down in the Pacific, down under. And it's funny because like New Zealand has like the standing TV, but I couldn't find one for Australia. So Australia's like the odd man out. He's doing a totally different pose, and I think that matches him because he's a wild child. Yeah, they are so cute. Yeah, koala and sheep. What do you mean no? Because they're always mentioned like shipping them. Maybe no. I don't ship them either. I see them as like as family. This one is interesting because my mom visited these two countries at some point. Yeah. They're more like a family for me. Yeah, they're more. I mean, I was just too busy paying attention to them being cute to notice that this is a shipping, stream. So I was like, they're so cute. No, yeah, I don't ship them. I see them as family too. I love them both. IDK if I see them as brothers or as a couple. Yeah, they like doing sports matches with each other. I remember their hobbies was to like do their do sports matches. So they have a bit of a sports rivalry, a healthy sports rivalry. I see their relationship as platonic. Oh, I think there was a recent webcomic where America and Canada make weird foods based inspired by like Japan, like with sushi, their own version of sushi or their own version of pizza. And Australia and New Zealand also do the same thing as brothers. So it's like America and Canada doing their own thing and making France really upset. Australia and New Zealand doing their own thing, also making France really upset. And France is going to England being like, how did you raise these people? Why are they making awful food? And England's like, I don't know. I don't think it's awful food anyway. I mean, this one I question myself. They are brothers, kind of, but they can be IDK man, yeah. I mean, for a long time they might have had only each other for company in their part of the world, especially while England wasn't visiting them. Yeah. Yeah. How did New Zealand start? I don't think I ever learned. Was it like an offshoot of Australia, or was it like its own thing that England made? Someone can like type it up in the chat. I would very much appreciate it. Talk about the history of New Zealand's founding. I know Australia was both a like new colony for new settlers who want to start a new life. People always talk about the penal colony aspect of it, but only like a part of Australia was a penal colony. There was still like normal people settling there trying to start a new life as well. So there's both elements in Australia. But yeah, if anybody knows how New Zealand started, I'm very much interested in that. All right, China and Korea. China and Korea has, I mean, I think some of my Korean fans will know this one. They have a lot of good moments. They have a lot of bad moments. One of my favorite moments, as far as like shipping them is concerned, in like history-wise, is that like I think I put shipping in quotes. China helping Korea out when Japan was invading Korea back in I think 16th century, and China had Korea's back, like very much so. But then China, that dynasty was the Ming dynasty. The Ming dynasty fell, and the Qing dynasty started, and the Qing dynasty invaded Korea. So, I mean, China is complicated depending on the dynasty. This one's very complex. Yeah, it depends on the dynasty. Some dynasties got along very well with Korea, others didn't. If you watch Six Flying Dragons, I know some. I don't know. It's not really available everywhere, but it is available on Netflix UK. Six Flying Dragons. There is a point near the end of the show when the prince meets the Chinese prince, and they're very similar in personality, and they become very fast friends. And historically, that is the dynasty that was like had Korea's back for a very long time because of that. Because of that friendship between those two princes, and they're both Machiavellian, and they saw that in each other, and that's how they became like really close friends. This is very interesting because sometimes two Machiavellian people can meet and become enemies, but those two are like, no, we're soulmates. We're gonna be brothers. So it was definitely cool and interesting seeing that and on TV. As a Korean, I can't ship this. Sorry. Yeah, it's fine. I feel like I ship them depending on the time period. Like I would be fine if I see a fanfic with Ming and Joseon because they were very close to each other. Sometimes the relationship wasn't as good, but other times it was like, you know, other times it wasn't that great because Ming Dynasty put a lot of pressure on Joseon at certain points, but like in a big brother sense. But other times it's like, if you're talking about Ching and Joseon, then not as well, or even like the Yuan dynasty and Goryeo, it's not a good relationship either. So it depends on the dynasty and what time period we're talking about. What's it? England told New Zealand to take care of Australia. This put a lot of stress. However, this causes New Zealand to have a huge respect for Iggy. Oh, this was also interesting because my aunt and her family are living in China because of her husband's. Oh, I hope they're safe and I hope they're doing okay. I've talked with so maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, it's definitely different living in China than Korea, though. All right. Oh, okay. This slide's over. I'm gonna move on to the next group of slides. Is this the right thing? Okay. So yeah, this is the next ship is Denmark and Sweden. We talked a little about this in my last stream. Some people like it, some people don't because the bloodbath of Stockholm mostly. So what do you guys think? What is this background music's name? This is in the YouTube library, and it's called Wedding Invitation. Do you like it or do you hate it? I love this music. Okay, it's good. Oh geez, this one. Yeah. Oh, and the other ones. Yeah, this is like a little ahead of itself, so we're going back to Denmark and Sweden. So Sweden, what do you guys think? It's definitely another love-hate relationship or enemies to lovers relationship. I don't ship it because of Stockholm bloodbath, but if you ship it, that's fine. I see them as rivals. Exactly, I like them as rivals. Yeah, Stockholm bloodbath was really gruesome. I was talking with my family about it, and they're like, "Well, that's not surprising because if you put two countries that are neighbors, they're probably gonna have something bad. Like the only example of two countries that are next to each other that don't have something that's bloody is America and Canada. But even then, it's still the War of 1812. Even then, it's still the War of 1812. So like, even if you put two countries, two countries are next to each other, like there's a high likelihood that there's something very ugly that happened between them. Yeah, I think it was Christian too. His name was Christian, which is very ironic. King Christian of Denmark. He promised that if Sweden surrendered, he wouldn't kill anyone. Ended up going back on his word and killed a whole bunch of people and took over Sweden. Sweden is Finland's waifu anyway. Is Sweden Finland's waifu? Because Sweden calls Finland his waifu. I don't think Sweden thinks he's the waifu in that relationship. Though technically it should be. I also imagine that the fact that Norway was once with Denmark, but the history hadn't been with Sweden until 1905. Yeah. Christian II specifically. Yeah, the English kings, and there are multiple repeats of names. This is different from like Korea, where you don't have that. You don't have repeats unless you're talking about different dynasties. Like there's a Tejo of Goryeo and a Tejo of Joseon. That's different. But other than that, like there's no like seconds, thirds, fourths, whatever. Speaking of the Swede, we really have a sibling love-hate relationship with the Danes. Yeah. Speaking of the Swedes and Danes, I think I learned a lot about like the really, really ancient history from the Beowulf story. And Beowulf is written in Old English, but it's really talking about the Scandinavian region, as well as the now extinct like Geat group of people too. That's where the name Jutland comes from, or Jutland comes from. It's from the Geat people, and that used to live in the Denmark region. Speaking of the Sweden is Finland's waifu. You're like, Sweden is Finland's waifu. I don't care what Sweden thinks. In Swedish history, he's known as Christian Tyrant. Yeah, that's really sad. And that guy puts a bad name to, like, Christians in general. Like, why does his name have to be Christian? Sweden technically married Norway. They had a bad start, but now they try to get along. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of scenes when all the Nordics get together as one big family and getting along just fine, and it's cute. Sweden and Denmark end up finally becoming sort of allies during World War II because they had to join up against the Nazi Germany. So, yes, one good thing Germany did is like Denmark and Sweden like not enemies anymore. It's like the French and English, yeah. Denmark looks so adorable though, doesn't he? Like, you wouldn't even picture him as someone who would participate in this bloodbath, doesn't he? Like, he looks so adorable. He has big puppy eyes. But Sweden looks serious. He means business. He even has a sword with him. Denmark looks so ooh-woo. He's like got like those kawaii eyes. Alright, okay, this is a little weird. I think for some reason it's more weird than England and America for me. I don't know why, because like technically it's the same dynamic. England had America as a colony, England had Canada as a colony, England raised America, England raised Canada. I see US, UK, I'm like, okay, that's you. I see England, Canada, go like, oh! So I'm like, but it's the same though. He looks adorable, but can be as cruel if he wants. Yeah, I mean, Spain and Russia and Denmark are all like that. Russia too. Russia too. Who came up with this one? I don't know. I mean, people ship England with everybody. People ship England with everyone. Name England and another country, that's a ship. That's like the rule of thumb, guys. England, there's even an England times everyone ship, okay? Same with Canada and America. Big nope for me. Yeah, for some reason it's like a huge nope. It's a bigger nope than US UK. For me. I don't know why though. Maybe because Canada was like with England for a lot longer as family? Don't all the countries have the capability of being cruel if they want? Yes, they do. But I feel like some of them don't really have the opportunity to be like quote unquote cruel to another country. Like for instance, there's not really a point when Korea I guess Korea invaded China several times, but like only a portion of China, never like the capital. And Korea never really like invaded Japan either, so it's kind of like, yeah, they were mean in the sense that they looked down on Japan, but it wasn't like, we're gonna create a bloodbath, and we're gonna like kill a whole bunch of people. It's not really like that. Alright, so this one's like historical imitation. I'm not saying Korea's an angel country, no way, because they were like terrible to their own people several times in history. But like, it just depends on the history though. Like you want to say Iceland. Iceland was had cruel moments. Like what Iceland do? It was just there. So like, yeah. England, and as much as I like UK and as a Canadian, I feel uncomfortable. Yeah. England and Scotland. I mean, Scotland's not a canon character, so I didn't put him on the slide. But that's an interesting ship too. I like Face Family, so no. Yeah, Face Family rules. You know, Face Family is a very stereotypical thing. Too stereotypical. What do you mean like stereotypical? Do you mean like very basic? Like people who like face are like very basic, or do you mean something else? Like I don't know what that means. No country is a saintly one. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I don't know about Iceland though. What did Iceland do that was problematic from like an international standpoint? Ace Family, because France has to earn the rights. LOL. What do you mean? Do you mean like it's like an ugly divorce and England has custody rights? France just has to pay child support. He doesn't have custody rights. The Face Family is cute. Yeah, they are cute. I like them all together. I mean, I've become closer with a lot of Quebecois Canadians, and so like France still has an influence in Canada. Not completely though, because Quebecois French is definitely very different French, because they still preserve like the language of that time. So like if you know Quebecois French, you can go back in time to like the 18th century, and you will understand like the French in like France, because it's like the same language. Like they preserve that. Well, in France, it's like it changed with the times, and so it's a little bit different. Yeah, and there's been some. If you don't read the webcomics, there's been a lot more content with England and Canada. Yeah, more in the eastern portion of the country. Yeah, because not all areas of Canada teach French very well, or not many people speak French outside of like Quebec and maybe some other eastern provinces. So it depends on where you are. Anyway, there's a lot of new like webcomics between England and Canada, and so they're definitely very, very close. Like because like Canada was there for England for the American Revolution, and England was also there for Canada. Like Canada felt like he was close to France for a bit, but since France gave him up so easily to England, Canada kind of felt abandoned by France. And so like he's actually much more attached to England canonically. So people like to put France and Canada a lot as like father and son, but really I think if you ask Canada, England's his father, not France. Because England was there for him for like the whole time. And that's why he was, helping out England. And then when he wanted his independence, he just like, kindly asked, and England said yes. So yeah, they're cute. They're definitely a cute like family relationship. I don't ship them though. Definitely like father and son. Definitely like England's favorite son would probably be America, but I think England still has a special part for like Canada. It's like, I don't know, I don't want to make the comparison because not everybody will get it, but yeah. Alright, another spicy couple, England and China. Very, very spicy. They're both Hong Kong's dads, reluctantly so. And they don't get along because Opium War, but they also kind of have to get along in order for Hong Kong to, not be totally uncomfortable. So what do you guys think? They both like tea though. They both like tea. That's something. Oh boy, yep, oh boy. That's like, like Twilight Princess is like, oh boy, with like every ship that's like full of spicy stuff. Also, England has very good like Chinese food restaurants too. Like it's a little more elevated than American style Chinese foods. I feel like England is a lot better with their fusion foods. Like if you go at an Indian food restaurant in England, it's really good. Chinese food restaurant in England, really good. Hong Kong, yeah, they're Hong Kong's dads. This one is kind of enemies, friends, acquaintances. Yeah, I kind of like reading fanfics where they're like having to like deal with each other for Hong Kong. It's very interesting when you like explore that kind of thing, especially in like a modern context. More of the neutral side for me. And again, when they're a family with Hong Kong, they're called a tea family. Yeah, that's so cute. That is really cute. I mean, they all love tea, and like England took a lot of inspiration from both Chinese and Japanese styles for tea sets, and so like you got a lot of the English tea sets that's famous for now is very much inspired by those styles. I mean, my family has English tea sets because we love them, is along with the Korean tea sets. So I mean, we think English tea sets are very, very good. China don't like that Hong Kong got England eyebrows, yeah, and China also doesn't like that Hong Kong got bad manners. So England's kind of he's always does the solitary neglecting, like he leaves his kids to their own devices and let them have some independence. So like Hong Kong is kind of using slang and whatever, and China doesn't like that. I can see them as an Uncle Roger and the fried rice lady. I don't know what that is, but I think I'm gonna agree with you because it sounds like it. Hong Kong is a love child. We're like fighting over Hong Kong. I don't know. Opium War Foundation of Tea. Okay, that's fine. I mean, some of my Chinese friends are very still miffed at England for the Opium War, so it was definitely controversial. And I mean, I mean, think about it. Like, imagine if a country goes to your country and spreads like these very addictive drugs and like makes a whole bunch of people in your country addicts. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, we're struggling with an opium pandemic in America right now. It's not because of another country necessarily. It's just available here, and that's already bad. So England like perpetuating that in China, that's just like
That's like a crime against humanity. Let's be real. That's definitely unethical. And as much as I love Queen Victoria, not a big fan of her endorsing that. Not that she had a huge influence in decision making anyway, because it was up to mostly Parliament had power. But still, she never said anything against it. She was just kind of like, okay, this is fine because I want China. All right, England and Italy. Somebody mentioned England and Italy with the snakeskin fanfic. Did I remember that correctly? As I said before, the only thing I remember about them is of Italy pretending to be an elephant in front of England, and England being very confused, and also England pretending to be Italian because he's a expert spy and thought that he could pull that off. That was not a good con Victoria's part, yeah. Why, yeah. Wait, why just fly to England, Italy? Wait, since when is this a thing? It is a thing! It is a thing! Isn't Italy scared of him? Yes, it is. Yes, she is. He's like, oh, it's England! And then I'm gonna be a fowl. I'm gonna be an elephant. Fowl. And then, lol. Is that the eyebrows? I don't know why this is a thing. I have no idea. But still, they can be friends. Yeah, they're cute as friends. I think there was like a comic when Italy wants like the Roman stuff back from the British Museum, and England said no. No, that's the wrong place. That's for Russia. Oh, I think that's Italy's face. He always closes his eyes. I see now. Italy should not try. I guess in the modern times they can be at least friends. See, I guess England and France's love child would be Gordon Ramsay, because Gordon Ramsay learned his chef stuff from French people, but he's British. Anyway, I guess in the modern times they can be at friends, yeah. Everybody's doing a Russia face. No, Russia's not here. Stop. Alright, moving on. England and Japan, I like this because they're very similar to each other. They're both island countries. They both have like piracy in their history, like English pirates, Japanese pirates. They're both kind of like the odd man out. Like Japan was very much overlooked by not Asia, but like China and Korea for being, not as civilized, not as advanced. The same thing with England. Like a lot of continental Europeans thought that England wasn't, as civilized or as advanced. So, yeah, these two are definitely were made for each other as friends, and I really like the episode when they like become friends. OMG, I ship them, island duo. I'm neutral for this one. They did have that alliance. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what made things complicated, because America wanted to support Korea, but then Korea made an alliance with Russia, and England has an alliance with Japan, and America has an alliance with England. So it was really complicated, because America is going to put their relationship with England first, always. If you look at history, America always puts their relationship with England first. So, like, okay, England has an alliance with Japan, so we don't really want to get in a fight with Japan unless it absolutely must happen. The nice thing was that England was open to ending their alliance with Japan if America's going to start with something with Japan, but, it didn't work out because of Russia. I love Asakiku 50-50. Yeah, there's definitely, like, a lot of similarities, and they both love tea, too. And as I said before, England got a lot of inspiration for their tea sets from Japan and China. So yeah, there's definitely like a connection there. This is seriously convoluted when you look at the history. Yes, it is. What else is there? I also really like that England can still see like the different creatures in Japan, like the kappa, which I don't know if who was the person that came and watched my other stream with the Onmyoji game, but like Kappa was in that game too. I remember the episode with the Kappa. It was cute. Yeah, so there's this game that I played that I streamed right after the last week's stream, and it features the Kappa as well in that game. Anyway, so yeah, England can see the Kappa, you can see the ghost girl, and I thought that was cute. And I thought that was funny, and also kind of sad that Japan can't see them anymore because he's modernized and westernized a little bit, so he doesn't really see the magic. I think it was me. Yeah, was it you, Twilight Princess? I think it was. You remember the Onmyoji game, right? With like the different sad stories and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna stream a game after this stream as well, probably at 8 o'clock. So it's either gonna be Animal Crossing or Onmyoji, depending on what you guys want to see. But yeah, if you want to check that out, I'll do that after the stream. But anyway, England and Japan, I see them as close friends, and I'm totally fine with the ship, and I like seeing art of those two together, and I like their stories. And even though the history is convoluted, I still like them as a dynamic, and I think they have a lot of things in common with each other. Wait, could he perhaps see Hachisaku-sama? That would be really scary. What are you talking about? Is Hachisaku-sama? Isn't that the one with the giant lady? Wait, hopefully I'm not. Is she the 8 foot tall lady? Isn't she the 8 foot tall lady? Yeah, because you recognize who Seimei was. That was definitely surprising to me. Hachisaku-sama is freaking scary. And who knows who Hachisaku-sama is? Because I will tell you, she is this 8 foot tall lady, and she terrorizes children. And when she sees you, right? And she makes this noise like po, po, po. And if she sees you, she's gonna like kill you next time she sees you. And so you gotta leave the country so that like you don't get killed by her. So like there was this YouTube channel that I watched called Something Scary, and when it still had the other host reading the story, she read that story, and it was really scary just seeing it. And then there's also, I wouldn't recommend it because I only found out because I searched up Hachisaku-sama, but there's like an anime/manga that features like Japanese horror stories, and like it's still kind of it's an adult story. So I don't recommend it if you don't like that kind of stuff. But their depiction of the 8 foot tall woman is very scary. Like the picture of her, if you look it up, oh my goodness, it's so scary. Yeah. So yeah, you don't want to see her, and I don't think England wants to see her, or either that, or he's gonna have to really brush up on his like magic skills in order to defend himself against her, for sure. All right, France and Canada. France and Canada is like US UK for me. I tolerate the ship. I'm not as like grossed out by it by other Face family ships, but you know, it's just it for me. Man, Japanese horror is dark, but so is Korean horror. So like, still there. Chinese horror though isn't that scary to me. At least how they showed it in Hetalia with the zombie China eating Hong Kong, and Hong Kong was like, oh, that doesn't even hurt at all. That was so funny. But yeah, that's Chinese horror, whatever. Nope for this one too. Okay, yeah, if you guys think that way. For me, it's like US UK. It was like, okay, if you ship it, if you don't, it's fine. I'm not as grossed out by it I'm not as grossed out by it as I am with America and Canada or England and Canada. Again, as a Canadian, nah. Yeah, as a Canadian, no. Okay, yeah. Is he holding a wine bottle? I just noticed that now. Oh my goodness, Brand. She's like that wine mom. Alright, let's move on. Okay, this is a big no for me. I'm just gonna put it out there. I know I put this on the slide because it's sort of popular, but this is a huge no for me. Like as someone said before, America and Canada are brothers, but not as close as brothers as Germany and Prussia. And I'm like, yeah, Germany and Prussia are like brothers. Like actual brothers. Like, no way am I gonna ship them. I like that their way of speaking French is different. Yeah, I like it too. Just nope. I don't ship it at all. If you ship it, I'm still gonna slightly think that you're weird, but I won't comment on it. I won't make a mean comment. I will just scroll on. But I'll just think to myself, okay. Absolutely not. Exactly. Me, absolutely not. Nope. Big yikes. Exactly. It's a big yikes for me too. Nope again. Nope. No. I'm so glad we all agree. But there are people who ship this. They are actually brothers. That's the difference. Exactly. No. Yeah, even the people who ship it know that it's incest because they call it German incest. So like it's not like they don't know. They know that it's incest. So that's why it's so gross. All right, moving on so we can do something else. Germany and England. They both have the same color scheme except for the eyes. England's hair is like, I don't give a flying fart about my hairstyle. Germany's like, everything has to be like perfect and I have to gel it perfectly. All I know is that it's definitely not canon. They're not really close friends. And even when England asked Germany to be his friend, Germany said no. And it's kind of funny because when Germany was thinking about how he doesn't have any friends, is Germany confirmed to be HRE? Then yeah, it would be so weird. Germany was thinking about how he doesn't have any friends. He thought about England not being his friend, but honestly, he didn't even want England to be his friend. I don't know why he was thinking about that. He might have a stick friend and England as a friend, apparently. I mean, a lot of the characters have messy hair, let's face it. Yeah. But, like, some of them it's, like, nice messy, while England's just, like, I don't give a flying fart. I'm just gonna, like, have this hair. Because, like, America's hair is not that bad. It kind of looks like, regular high school boy hair. It's not that bad. And then Denmark just has that, like, that shonen manga main character hair, which is not necessarily messy. It's just, like, very anime style. I guess nobody really ships this one either, because kind of just, like, okay. They're both Germanic countries, but Germany is obviously more Germanic than England, and it's just kind of like, okay. World War II, anyone, the bombing. I mean, yeah, you can think of it that way, but there's also, like, other stuff. There's, like, other stuff, though. I think either Germany or England is jealous of the other because France was the other. Exactly! Because you have Fruck with Germany, and then you have the Elysee pair, or, like, Froger with the EU. I mean, England has done Brexit now, so England is separate from the EU. So there's definitely a lot more time for France and Germany to spend time together. And so, yeah. Also, another reason why to ship this is that technically the current Windsor royal family is from Germany. They now call themselves Windsors, but they originally were called the Hanovers, and Hanover is a German name. The reason why they changed their name to Windsor is because of World War II, and they wanted to separate themselves from their German roots. Yeah, England's royal family is more German than British, yes. It all started with George I after Queen Anne died. So, yeah, they have a German family, and even like Victoria, she married Prince Albert, who wasn't. I don't think he was from Germany. I think his family's from Belgium, but they were still like Germany in some ways. Also, like George VI, who was king during England's during World War II, he was actually originally named Albert. But he changed his name to George when he became king so that he could actually be, like, thing. No, the name before Windsor was Saxe, Coburg, and Gotha. No, they were the Hanover family. Oh, was through Albert. Sorry, yeah, they had Albert's last name for sure. But like Victoria was the Hanovers. All right. All right. Next thing. Greece and Japan. Finally, something that's like full of complex history. Greece and Japan. It's definitely a cute ship. There's like a lot of like quiet, still moments. So like Hetalia is a very loud anime, a lot of funny, loud moments. But when Japan and Greece, Albert was too German, exactly. When Greece and Japan meet up, they kind of talk to each other quietly, talk about different philosophies, talk about cats, kind of relax, have a quiet moment. It's a very nice one, but also funny to us as the audience, but nobody on screen is screaming or laughing. So it's definitely cute. Yeah, it's cute. And they both really love cats. Like Japan loves cats and Greece loves cats. And like when Greece talks about fantasizing about being a cat, Japan agrees with him. So I have so many fan works involving them. Aww. I definitely like seeing Japan's gentler side that he didn't really get to access a lot during World War II. So having him be able to access that when he's at Greece is very cute and very much necessary for him. So yeah, it's calming for sure. Yep. I can't believe my music actually matches them right now. The background music. Yeah, it's the background music is "If You Close Your Eyes, I'm Still With You." Yeah, it's cute. It matches the ship. Anything else? Any other comments? Also, Grease also has a hair curl. If you notice, he has another hair curly boy. Alright, finally an Iceland ship that kind of makes sense and is also sort of popular. Hong Kong and Iceland. I kind of ship them. I like them. They're cute, but I see them as a platonic couple. I think you're talking about Greece and Japan. Yeah, they're cute. They're definitely cute as friends or lovers, no matter whatever you pick. So Hong Kong, he looks like he's holding some steamed buns, and Iceland has Mr. Puffin with him, of course. Definitely seems like really funny MMDs with those two. Oh man, I ship them. Exactly. They definitely have they can both be emo teenagers together. Oh, it's more powerful than, like, much more powerful than one emo teenager, two emo teenagers. Yeah, they're so adorable, the younger siblings of their loud families. Yeah. And then they're the ooh babies of their families, and they're very cute together too. I don't know if they actually interact in canon, but I can definitely see the appeal. I never understood why Hong Kong and Iceland. I mean, why that was the reason. I'm not against it, but I don't think there was any like canon thing between them, or even a historical thing between them. I think it's just people saw the similarities between them and thought that they would be cute together. I've seen so many fan works between these two. At the same time, they're really cute. Yeah, they're both really cute, and also they actually match more in age. Like, I know we were talking about American Iceland, we're like, okay, that's weird. But yeah, Hong Kong and Iceland are more matching up with age. All right. Moving on, Hong Kong and Korea. I see a lot of stuff with these two too. I have kind of used it, but not in a romantic sense. I think that that's pretty much it. Like, I guess like there's some like similarities between those two. I think they briefly interact in the Halloween segment of World Take. Oh, okay, that's cool. But I think, the ship was popular before that though. Like, people were excited about that moment in World Twinkle, and the ship already existed. Hong Kong and Korea, they're both part of the Asian Tigers. You low-key ship it. They're both part of the Asian Tigers. The other members of the Asian Tigers, I think, are Singapore and what are the other two people? They're brothers for me. Oh, that's cute. As siblings and friends. Okay. They're brothers for me, yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of inspiration we can get from each other as far as like economic growth and overcoming colonization and the importance of democracy. I think opposites attract with Hong Kong and Korea. Yeah, I should have Hong Kong and Taiwan. That's cool. I kind of see Hong Kong and Taiwan even more like brother and sister than Hong Kong and Korea are brothers. Like, because like the reason why I don't really see them as brothers is because Korea is just so different from like the Chinese. So like, the four Asian Tigers are Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, and Taiwan. That's what I thought. I thought the other one was like Taiwan. Okay. So like, so I always think of China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau being a family in the sense that they're all in the Chinese group. I wouldn't necessarily say Taiwan is necessarily close with China for obvious reasons. But like Korea and Japan are kind of their own thing. Like, they're Asians, yes, but they're very different and unique from like whatever is going on in China. Oh, that's okay. You ship Hung Ice more. Okay, that's fine too. I think Hung Ice is definitely more popular. That is true. Korea is very different from China. Exactly. Alright, this is weird for me. I'll just put that out there because they're also genetically brothers, and I think the people who ship them do acknowledge that it is incest because they call it incest. I think I think most of us are going to say no, and we can just quickly move on to the next ship. Alright, Japan and China. Again, we're back to like awkward history. Oh yikes, yeah, oh, you're responding to the ISS. Yeah, that's not right. It's weird. Yeah, this one is weird, especially considering recent history. It doesn't work. It doesn't really work at all. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Like, I feel like with Korea and Japan, you can make up a little bit for it, because there are a lot of Korean fans of Japanese media and stuff, and they've been trying to get a better relationship. But like China, and also like Korea and Japan have a lot more interactions historically anyway, so if you go prior to that, you can still have some interesting dynamics. But like Japan and China spent most of its time either looking down on Japan, or Japan was just acting like a really mean country during the 20th century. So yeah, this is very it's very weird. There's no way to like make it like not, at least from a historical standpoint, it's very difficult to do it. I just see them as teacher and student. Oh well, I mean Japan is a terrible student, because like in Confucian ideals, there's different dynamics that are very important. So in other words, king and subject, father and son, older brother and younger brother, and teacher and student. Of course, notice that all these are male things, but those are the most important relationships that keep society going. So when a student goes against his own teacher, that is considered a very, very big no-no. Like, nope. Yeah, I feel like there's too much anti-Japanese sentiment in China and too much anti-Chinese sentiment in Japan. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot worse actually in China than it is in Korea. Because at least in Korea, they like Japanese anime, they like Japanese manga, they buy Nintendo games, they like Sony games, they like that stuff. So it's like there's still like intercourse and like not intercourse. There's still interaction and exchange of cultural elements. And I think with Japan, they like K-pop stars, they like Korean dramas. So like there's not that whole like the other one was husband and wife. The only one women are mentioned, and two friends. Yeah, I think the two friends are a little bit different in the sense that there's no like higher lower thing, unlike with the other ones there are a higher lower thing. So the two friends are the only one that are equal with each other. I'm guilty of like, exactly, I like Japanese product. We're talking about Japanese product right now. We're like, this is Hetalia anime. We like it. I like Animal Crossing. A lot of Koreans like Animal Crossing. There's a lot of Korean YouTubers that make Animal Crossing content, and they're all so adorable and cute. So there's obviously a lot more like a lot more like, respect for Japan. And also another thing is like, yes, the past is the past, and we still feel like Japan hasn't done enough to like make up for it, but at the same time, like the real threat right now is like China. So we kind of have to like stick together and make sure that China doesn't get too powerful. So it's just kind of like you gotta have to live and let live and just move forward. So yeah, Japan and China definitely have a lot more animosity, and it's very hard to like overcome that for sure. Now, and unless you want to make a really tragic story where they start out as teacher and student, and then it just all goes downhill from there. Alright, this is very interesting. I was like, what? How? I don't know how this happened. Someone explain this to me. If anyone of you shipped this, please explain. Like, someone explain this to me, please. If anyone has any clue. I mean, maybe they're both like a bit straight-laced, and they're both kind of, refined. I guess is like a similarity, but like I have no clue what other logic there could possibly be. What? Wait, this? Why? He's like, I have no idea. Don't ask me. I don't know. I have no idea. I just saw in the wiki, and I was like, okay, they have interaction. I don't even know if they do. The only way they could have possibly interacted is through someone else. So like Austria had a very huge empire that spanned a large region, but did not include Lithuania, I'm pretty sure. But a lot of those people that Austria like ruled over, like Czech and Slovakia, they know Lithuania because they're closer in region. So maybe through that way, like a friend of a friend kind of thing. Another thing is, like, as I said last stream, when Poland helped Austria, so like Austria knows Poland for sure, but like, and then Lithuania knows Poland, so it's like through Poland they can know each other, but there's no way like they meet each other directly. Like there's always like a person in between them that can make that thing happen. So I have no idea. The only possibility is that they're both refined and to have refined tastes, and they kind of are both serious, and that's the only thing. That's the only thing I can think of that could possibly make someone ship them. Alright, moving on. Finally, something that makes sense, Lithuania and Poland. I think some people say there's a problem with it because like they're not really as close as they are in the anime. Like if you meet a Lithuanian or a Polish person, they're gonna say, "Oh, it's okay." Like the relationship between us as like actual countries is like okay. It's not great. They're not best friends. Everything is possible in the world of Hetalia. Yeah, everything is possible. Yeah, this one makes more sense. It definitely does. It definitely makes a lot more sense. Yeah, that's just the anime that finally taught me how much of a superpower Poland was in like early medieval times. Canon! Yeah, they're canonically at least friends. They're also canonically like joined together into like a sort of marriage because they join each other. Oh, it's my OTV, but I've been bullied a lot. Oh no! How? Why? It's like a pretty popular ship too. It's a pretty popular ship. Like, you know, it might feel like you're alone, but there are other people out there who ship them. I think it's cute, but I don't necessarily ship it. We'll respect everyone who ships it. Exactly. I mean, there's scenes of them together. So, like, why? Why would you be like, oh my gosh, why? I like Poland's expression on this TV. Looks like he's up to something. Poland is a total mood. Like, everybody's like freaking out about something, and I'm just like, let's just chill and have fun. Like, my friends are like, oh my gosh, I have a test, and you're not ready for this test, and I'm like, I'm just gonna play Animal Crossing. Oh, look, a pony! There is at least one episode that, exactly, I think there's one episode dedicated to them, and then there's other episodes showing their dynamic. And like, he looks so cheeky. Exactly, he does look cheeky. Alright, moving on. If it looks like if you want to talk about more about it, it's fine. We can talk about it in the chat. So yeah, this is Netherlands and Canada. We went like, oh boom, Netherlands and Canada. What do you guys think of Netherlands and Canada? Looks like some people do ship them. I do think of them as a tulip couple. The whole idea of the ship is because Canada played a big role in saving Netherlands from Nazi rule, Nazi occupation. So Netherlands thanked Canada with a bouquet of tulips, and this is based on real history. So yeah, this is sort of popular ship because of that, because of both the history. And I think the history was acknowledged in the comic. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was. So yeah, it's definitely a very opposites attract here too. Like Canada's just so sweet and cute, and Netherlands is just very standoffish and kind of scary looking. But yeah. The Netherlands has that soft side, the tulip side of him. I think it's cute, but I don't really ship it. Well, the Dutch royal family found asylum in Canada. Exactly. That's an important thing too. I don't ship them, but I expect anyone shipping it. Yeah. Like most of the ships in Hetalia, I don't really ship them really hard. I just like see them and go like, oh, that's cute. The only ones that I go like, yes, is like Ozhan and Brock, I think. Everything else is like, oh, that's cute, or oh, I don't like that. But that's very few that I don't like at all. So. Okay, next is Netherlands and Japan, and this one's meh for me. That's neutral. I don't know. I talked about this last stream. Netherlands is like one of the early people that arrived in Japan. They did some problematic stuff. Japan got kind of trigger happy and started doing stuff. So yeah, it's whatever. Speaking of tulips, my parents recently bought some yellow tulips, and the first thing that came to me was Netherlands approving because he loves tulips. Yeah. The Dutch people really love their tulips. Okay, now these two. There is history. Yes, there is history. So I feel like there was more issue with Portugal than Netherlands, because because the Portuguese were like capturing Japanese people and selling them into slavery, and I think it was Hideyoshi. Us Koreans don't like Hideyoshi, but Hideyoshi was not that bad to Japanese people because he himself was a slave, and so he was very touchy about slavery. So he didn't like it. He didn't like Dutch and Portuguese selling his own people as slaves, and so he kicked them all out. But the only problem is he started persecuting Christians because of that too. No, he didn't persecute Christians. He actually worked with Christians. It was as his successor Tokugawa that persecuted Christians, like Portuguese missionaries, and so a lot of people died as well. So if you watch the movie, I think Silence, which is very, very difficult movie to watch. If you don't like historical movies that are very difficult to watch, I don't recommend it. But it's about that time period. Netherlands and Canada are cute, but I prefer Nethernesia. Yeah, it's pretty. Oh, I guess it would be unpopular because she's not a canon character. A lot of fans make fan art about them. Oh, that's cute. But yeah, that's the deal. And ironically, the Hideyoshi was very touchy about his Japanese people being enslaved, but he had no problem enslaving Korean people. So I mean, he's kind of a hypocrite. But yeah, that's the history, y'all. If you didn't know, something new about Netherlands and Portugal and Japan. Yeah, he didn't mind taking Korean, especially Korean potters, to Japan forcefully. Yeah, and the Korean pottery style still exists in Japan today. I remember watching Oran High School Host Club, and there is a scene, if you guys are familiar with it, if you remember, there's a scene when Gyoya talks with the lady about a scam potter. It was like, oh, that's not the right pottery. It's fake. And that was actually because that family that he was talking about that makes the actual pottery is descended from those Korean captives. So like there's still families today that practice pottery in the Korean tradition in Japan, and they still make a lot of money. So I guess it kind of works out for them. Then again, how does Indonesia view Netherlands today? I have no idea. No idea. But if there's any Indonesians here who would like to answer, or if someone who's familiar with Indonesian culture can answer that. Alright. Netherlands and Portugal. Portugal doesn't have a colored chibi because it's a relatively new character, so he's the only one that's black and white. I don't really ship it, but they're both merchants, and I think they're more rivals, like economic rivals. Like they don't really fight that many wars between each other, unlike Spain and Netherlands, or like England against the Dutch and Portuguese. But they kind of are, kind of visiting the same places, trying to establish trade in the same places. So there's definitely some economic competition. Maybe a little bit of healthy competition. But yeah, I don't really ship them. Did they have an alliance together at some point? Maybe? I don't know. I don't really know much about Portuguese history or Dutch history. But now I feel bad because I feel like I should know. Like I know a lot of English history, I know a lot of French history, a little bit more about Austrian Hungarian and German history, and even Russian history, but not Dutch and Portuguese. I think I know some more Spanish history too. I think Netherlands and Portugal probably did have an alliance though, because they probably did have to go up against Spain, because that would make logical sense for them to have an alliance. But that's just me making a logical guess. That's not a fact. All right. Okay, someone's like making noise upstairs. All right, Netherlands and Spain. Another friend, enemies to lovers, or love hate. I don't ship them, but I really loved how Netherlands sold weapons to Spain during the war. That was hilarious, for sure. That was a total mood, and I don't think anyone else is ever capable of doing that. I mean, if you consider it a history, it's a bit ugly. But like I always kind of feel like I always kind of disassociate Spain with like Spanish cruelty for some reason. Cause he's just so cute. The 80 Years' War would make them hate each other along with religious differences. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like Spain is so cute though. I can't like associate with him with like the terribleness of Spanish kings. Like a lot of Spanish kings are very hard asses. That episode was amazing and Romano was so cute, yeah. Okay, I was just turning up the music. This is still very interesting. Yeah, it is. Alright, Norway and Finland. It's definitely a rare pair for sure. It's definitely not as popular as Sweden or Nor. I don't think I put Nor Ice because that's just weird. But yeah, Norway and Finland. They're like the two pretty boys for sure. But I think Finland is scarier than Norway once you like know more about them. You don't mess with Finland. You don't mess with Finland and it's vodka. But Norway has magic. You should just off-bank over Norway for the section. Oh, don't know how I feel about this. These two are definitely a rare pair. Yeah, exactly. They're both adorable, but I don't ship them at all. Also, like, I like they're adorable in different ways. Like, Finland has really kind eyes, so, like, Norway looks so done. Like, he's just done with you. Like, don't approach me. But, they're both adorable. Well, the sniper with the most kills is Finnish. Exactly. Also, Finland against Russia, when Russia tried to invade, you don't mess with Finland. You don't mess with Finland. At all. Alright. Moving on. Wait, no, this is, we went back to the beginning. Alright. Looks like I pushed forward. Alright, the next ship is, Russia and Italy. I think some people in Indonesia hate Netherlands, but mostly fine with it. I mean, that one makes the most sense. I guess it's kind of like Philippines in America, where like some Filipinos I met like America, other Filipinos I met don't like America. I mean, it depends on who you talk to. It is canon that Prussia seems to have a sort of crush on Italy, and that's pretty much it. That's kind of the foundation of the ship. This isn't your cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea either. I don't really ship it at all. Like, I don't ship it at all. But I know why it exists. canon-wise, because Prussia has a crush on Italy. That's really much it. I'm using the word crush very loosely. I don't know if it's like romantic in a way, or if he just likes how Italy looks, or I don't know. But must be friends. I don't know. It just whatever. Okay, the other one is Prussia and Romano, because Prussia and Italy brothers. Prussia and Romano, I do see the appeal too, because like it's Germany, and then East Germany, which is Prussia, and then there's Italy, and South Italy, and or Romano. So like there's more similarity between Prussia and Romano, so there's more of a commonality, there's more common ground, so I can see why it's a ship. This exists, I guess, yeah. Yeah, Prussia and Italy exists. Wait, what is it with Prussia and Italy? I don't know. I don't know. It's not even like as explicit as Spain and the Italy's, but there's Prussia and Italy's. I don't know. I know why Prussia, as I said before, Prussia canonically has a crush on Italy, and then some people like that Prussia and Romano have similarities, and that's why they pair them. Gilbert is cute. If you notice, all the France pictures had Pierre with him, and then all the Prussia pictures have Gilbert with him. Oh, okay. Another weird Prussia ship. Okay, this is alphabetical order, so I'm gonna get a lot of Prussia ships at once. Prussia and Norway. I have no idea what the logic is behind this one, so if nobody has any comments, we can move on. This is really random for me. Like, I don't really get it. This is the first time I've ever heard of this one, exactly. I think we can move on. Is there history? I have no idea. I mean, I guess there should be. There should be history. Because both of them have, like, pretty big influences. But I don't know. I can't say. Alright, finally something that actually makes sense. Russia and America. The Cold War group, definitely a rivalry here. Definitely a love-hate relationship. Definitely enemies to lovers. I've done some exploration of their dynamic in my fan works, but I always made it good in AU because I'm not really comfortable dealing with canon stuff. So yeah, I've done stuff with their rivalry for sure, but yeah. Cold War duo, yep. And I said Chloe the Brain has an interesting video with these two, I think called Rivals. It's very interesting. It's not a ship video at all. It's just pointing about them as like big enemies. So yeah, you can take a look at that after the stream. It's definitely a good video. And I actually recommended the song, so yeah, it's definitely a good video. So I like that, and I always wanted to do like a chess musical like thing with those two, but I don't think there's a Russian language version of it, so the Cold War would be so tense between them, yeah. There were a lot of Russian shippers were like joking when Trump became president and he was getting along really well with Putin for a while. A lot of Russian shippers were like, well, that moment between them and Roll Twinkle. What moment? You mean like in the Gakuen moment, or was there something else? Sorry. Some people ship them, looks like. Hajar ships them. There's some cute elements, and there's some interesting elements. Especially if you could separate them from like their respective bosses. There can be some interesting dynamics for sure. But I don't ship it. I just make content about the rivalry. Even in the anime, there's a rivalry, yes. Alright, Russia and Canada. This is cute in the sense that they're both wintry countries, and they also have a rivalry too. I'm fine with this one if we didn't talk about the real history, yeah. Russia and Canada also have a rivalry in the Winter Olympics, because America doesn't do that well in Winter Olympics, generally speaking. They only started to do really well again with the ice skating. But as far as like hockey or like speed skating and stuff, it's Russia and Canada. Russia and Canada are the rivals in the Winter Olympics. And America supports Canada, of course. And there's a moment between them when Russia calls Canada and asks him for advice for dealing a polar bear. So there's definitely some cute elements to it. And they both are have friends with General Winter. It gives me squishy vibes. Yeah, they are very adorable. If you don't consider Russia's dark side, you can definitely see like the adorableness part of it. Yeah, I don't ship it though. They are rivals too. They're both adorable and squishy characters. Yeah, especially in TV form like this. I always like to use the TV forms for my streams. Okay, Russia and England. Russia and England actually have a pretty good connection before, especially when they were both against France together. Like marshmallows. Oh, speaking of marshmallows, I really like Marshall the squirrel in Animal Crossing. Anyway, Russia and England. Russia and England actually teamed up with each other against France during Napoleon times, and so there is definitely a history where they've gotten along. Also, the English King George V was cousins of Nicholas II, the last Tsar of Russia. While George V didn't really care so much about what happened with his cousin, but Winston Churchill did care. Winston Churchill was trying to support the White Army in Russia at the time. So yeah, there's definitely some like vested interest in each other's histories for sure. That's summoning episode, yeah. This is an interesting, yeah. Russia is England's the devil friend for sure. Where England and America were scaring each other. But yeah, they were like the real people that knew how to fight against France. Because Austria was this kind of there. We're talking about like trios of people. Like if you talk about the Axis trio, it's like Italy's kind of just there. So like when they were up against Napoleon, it was Russia, England, Austria. And while Austria did have some contribution to what was going on, it was really England and Russia that really defeated Napoleon. And then with Russia, it was like both the burning technique, so they would burn their own towns and continue migrating eastward. And so then the Napoleon army was chasing after the Russians, and Winter ended up catching up to the French army, and they had to retreat. And then England was the one that won the Battle of Waterloo with the help of Russian and Austrian armies. Well, like Austrians were kind of just like, we want music. We will play music. And it was actually shown in the anime as well, which is funny. And it's also in the book War and Peace. It's a very long book, so if you don't have time, I'm not going to make you read it. But it shows that too. The Austrians being very much focused on their music culture, and not very focused on the war. Those moments when Russia cursed Japan and England summoned Russia. Yeah. This is weird for me because Russia was mean to the Baltic states, so any like Baltic state ship with Russia kind of weirds me out in a sense. But if you separate the history from the characters, you can kind of make it work. I mean, the only like canon thing was Russia like hacking Estonia's stuff, so it's not very much good moments between the two of them. I like how Estonia has stars around him. I know I called him bland last stream, but like I now noticed he has stars around him. That's kind of cute. Yeah, twinkling. He's twinkle boy. Twilight Princess is like, oh boy. Every time I see oh boy, I know it's her. There's the one out of the Baltics who stands up to Russia the most. Yeah. Like deliberately does so with a purpose. Like Latvia stands up to Russia in the sense that he has no filter and says things that will offend Russia, but he's not actually trying to stand up to Russia. But Estonia is his purpose is to stand up to Russia, and he will stand up to Russia. So it's definitely there. Okay, this is a bit creepy, but I put this on here anyway to like give all the Baltic states a little bit of spotlight. And if we don't have to talk about like it's a ship, we can talk about like it's a dynamic. And it's also problematic for the same reason why the Estonian one was problematic, and it's even more problematic in the sense because Russia is very, very mean to Latvia. Like he just pushes him down, literally. That's just not cool. I don't really like this ship. If you ship it, I'm gonna think you're weird. Yeah, Latvia's physically a kid. Yeah, that's what makes it weird. Also, like, not only is he a kid, but like this is obviously a relationship with abuse in it. So like, no. Obviously if there's any like fanfic with this ship, they should definitely tag it correctly with like the appropriate tags for sure. And it's definitely weird. All right, Russia and Lithuania. This is, I think, the most popular ship out of the Baltic Trio ship with Russia. It's definitely something that makes for an interesting story. Like I've read stories with relationships that are very similar to Russia and Lithuania's relationship. Though it wasn't Russia and Lithuania, it's like other works. So like there's definitely a toxicity to it that is like appealing to like certain people to read as entertainment. But I would not want to see this one in real life for sure. If I saw this one in real life, I would definitely have to call the appropriate authorities to deal with this. Yeah. But it's complicated. It's a complicated relationship, and as far as like the canon is concerned, because Lithuania does care about Russia, and he met Russia when Russia was little, and he felt bad for him, and he still kind of remembers that, and so he still kind of feels bad for Russia, but like, and still wants to assure Russia that he has friends. So, yeah. The relationship between these two might be too toxic, even for the Soviet Union. Yeah, it's very typical of a lot of like popular culture stories that would have a relationship like this, because they make for a good story, but definitely not something you'd want to see in real life or want to be in real life, for sure. That's illegal. Are you talking about Russia and Lithuania, or are you talking about something else? I know like Russia and Latvia would definitely be illegal, and then this one could be illegal in the sense of like, oh gee, this is not good. Alright, moving on. A lot of Russian ships are making me feel really sad. Russia and Poland is also really toxic. Yeah, so no thanks, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only fanfic that I would read is like, yeah, it has that as a backdrop because it happened, but then like Lithuania is like able to leave. I would like that kind of fanfic if such a fanfic existed. Anyway, Russia and Poland is the same vein. It's getting depressing. I think we should kind of push on forward because basically it's similar to what we talked about with Russia and Lithuania. Oh my goodness, it's like bad after bad after bad. Russia and Prussia is also so bad. Mostly it's partly on both sides though, on both ends, because Prussia was bullying Russia but then like at the same time like Russia was really mean to Prussia during the East Germany occupation. So yeah, Russia really messed up with the relationship. Yeah, the only one that people were kind of okay with was him with America and him with China. Poland would be more like vocal about him not liking Russia. Yes, he would be more vocal than Lithuania. Okay, so these are both children, so I think it's not as like bad as other stuff. Anything I basically erased, even though they exist in the wiki. I've basically like not addressed most of these. Yeah, Prussia is 99% East Germany, yeah. And the old Prussian capital, because Prussia had two capitals. One was Königsberg, and then they changed it to Berlin. And Königsberg is still in Russia right now, modern day. But there's like a German diaspora that lives there, but I think very few of them remain there, because a lot of them like fled the Russian region because of, the cruelty of communist Russia. That's something that people talk about, but it's definitely a thing. Well, it's just all these Russian ships being potentially toxic. Yeah. Yeet, yes. I like this one. This one's cute. Yes, Finland and Latvia is cute. Speaking of Finland and Latvia, I know this is not Latvia or Lithuania, but I'm pretty sure Latvia would very much agree with Lithuania when Lithuania told Finland not to be a country. It was kind of sad because it's like how I sometimes meet med students who are like, don't be a med student. But like, Lithuania's like, don't be a country because then you're gonna like be, hurt and stuff, and that's what's gonna happen if you become a country. And Latvia feels the same way too, and Finland's like, I want to be a country. And Latvia's like, why? Why do you want to be a country? Oh wow, that one is kind of weird, but I think Latvia's too mature and Finland's just a kid. I mean, Latvia's a kid too, though. Latvia is his age, his physical age is a kid. Maybe a little bit more like preteen age, I think, or a little bit above that, like maybe 13, 14. So it's still like, it'll be like a middle schooler, elementary schooler maybe, so that'd be still kind of weird, but they're both kids. I still call it Königsberg, even though the name changed to Kaliningrad, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel the same way about Constantinople and Istanbul, so it's like, but granted, like, Istanbul is the capital, so it's a different story, but if we're talking about the historical time period when it's Constantinople, I'll call it that. So, alright, Spain and England. I actually kind of like this ship. It's like Fruck but light. It's like Fruck light for me, so I kind of like it. Especially Pirate Spain, Pirate England. I like that. There is something about those two when they're pirates. Well, not really pirates. Conquistador and Pirate England. It'll be interesting. Yeah, 12 and 15 just not a match for me, so that's his personality. Yeah, 12 and 15 would be weird because you're talking about, at least from an American standpoint, that would be, I think, a 7th grader and a sophomore in high school. Yeah, there's definitely a gap, for sure. Fuck, I can see it, but not my cup of tea. Fuck, again, up there, Armada's fight again, yeah. I mean, I just like Spuck because it's like Fruck light. So it's just Conquistador Spain and Pirate England. I would read it unless it's unless it's smut. I don't read smut. Sorry. There's also like a brief alliance with Mary and Philip, but their relationship wasn't necessarily the best. Not my favorite, but like especially exactly the Pirate AU. The Pirate AU, I really like it when they're like hanging out. Oh, this one hits me. It's so sad what happened with those two. Just as friends. Switzerland, Austria. I'm definitely invested in their friendship story, and I really hope they become friends. Because like how they were friends when they were really little, and then it fell apart because of their boss. And then when they meet again later, it's like there's this tension, and they're not quite getting along. At least Liechtenstein was there to like Edelweiss, yes, I know. At least Liechtenstein there was to ease the tension, and like they both teamed up against Prussia. So yeah, and then also like Switzerland provided a refuge for Austria and Hungary during the Blanket White event. So, I think they definitely became friends after the Painted White. I said Blanket White, Painted White movie. So I think they became friends after that. But yeah, that was just sad. I love how Switzerland's holding a goat with an angry face. Well, I think Austria also has goats, if I remember correctly. So they both like goats. They have such a pretty national flower, yeah. Like every time I see them, I want to take Edelweiss from yeah. They have such a pretty national flower. They were friends, broke apart, now they tell each other all the time crying inside. Yeah, I remember when Switzerland was like went to sleep when he started dreaming about his memories with Austria, and he was like, why am I even thinking about those days? It's just so sad. They are both neutral these days, yeah. They both have beautiful like alpine areas. I think these two countries are most associated with the Alps. Yeah, Sound of Music, Edelweiss from Sound of Music. Also, no, I don't think Austria had a role in the Heidi story. It was Switzerland and Germany because it was Frankfurt and the Swiss Alps. Yeah, Sound of Music, the Edelweiss song. Great, now I have the song in my head. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, Every morning I greet you. So cute. Highs in German Alps. Alright, next is another sort of problematic ship because of the history, and actually, frankly, pretty recent history. Turkey and Greece. Yeah, Heidi was set in Switzerland, but she also went to Frankfurt, Germany. But yeah, but there's no part of it where Austria was involved. Now it's stuck in my mind. Turkey and Greece. I don't ship it because Turkey's just yeah, this one might be too toxic, yeah. Like especially since Turkey still hasn't really gotten its hasn't paid back for what they've done to the Armenians and the Greeks. So I don't like this ship because of that. That'd be like someone shipping Germany and Israel, okay? It's just weird for me. For sure. Turkey and Greece problematic? Yes. Do I ship it? Yeah. Do I regret it? No. I mean, if you only know it from the anime, I can see why you ship it. But like for me, it's like Ottoman period, especially Greece, have to spill blood to become independent. Yeah, and also like with the Armenian genocide, that also included like Greek Christians that were still in Turkey at the time, so they were also killed too. So it's definitely a no for me because of that. Like when you get to like genocide level stuff, it's like nope, no, I can't. As I said, it's like someone shipping Germany and Israel together. That would be weird. It's not that Israel is the country character in the anime, but that would be really weird for me and for a lot of other people. All right. Okay, we are moving on from slash ship. I know we didn't cover all the slash ships, so if there is a slash ship that you ship that was not mentioned, you can talk about it in the. I have no idea what the problem is. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Yes, exactly, the genocide thing. So if there is a ship that you ship that was not mentioned, you can shout it out in the comments, in the chat, and I will move on to the het ships. And so it's a good deal of them because it's a good deal of female characters, not a whole lot, but still a good deal of them. There's a lot of permutations and combinations. So another one that's actually fairly popular and one that I used to like a lot was America and Belarus. Chloe the Brain has a couple videos on them, and I don't know if I have one too. Maybe yes, I do. I think I do. It's the Phantom of the Opera with I think it was All I Ask of You. Was Frogger mentioned? No, Frogger was not mentioned. So you can definitely shout that out in the chat. When I think about Frogger, I only really think about EU. The EU is what I think about them. They're both also from Frankish descent, generally speaking, though there's some like exceptions because they're both pretty diverse. Especially France is pretty diverse in the ancestry, but generally speaking, they're both from Franks. They were both under the Frankish kingdom with Charlemagne, or Charlemagne, as the French would say. So yeah, there's definitely some interesting dynamics, and there's like that love-hate relationship, and yeah. Oh, that one? Yeah, I think it was All I Ask of You. EU daddies, yeah. So I made an Amabel video, and Chloe has made a couple too. So I used to really ship it. Now I'm like, it's neutral for me now. So that's my character development. I was a hardcore shipper, and now I'm like, that's okay. It's like there. The relationship changed a lot over the past years. Very interesting. Yeah. We're talking about Frogger, I think. But yeah, that relationship has changed a lot. With Amabel, I actually met a Belarusian once, so I can speak at least from his family's like view of America. They thought America was paradise land. Of course, that was like before Trump, so I don't know what Belarusians think now. But him and his family, this was like in the 2010s, thought that America was paradise land. So there's definitely like at least some Belarusians admire America. I think other Belarusians probably admire Russia more. It depends on who you are and what your family is. I mean, there's a reason why my friend who was from Belarus, his family moved to America anyway, because they like America. What else? I did like the Romeo and Juliet aspect of it, and some I know Romeo and Juliet is super cliche, but like Romeo and Juliet can be done well. I think the worst version of Romeo and Juliet is probably like, other than like super trash stuff, it's actually the Romeo and Juliet itself. I don't really like that play, but like other stories that have a star-crossed lovers thing, I like them. So I like that because of that. But now it's like, it's okay. I'm not a hardcore shipper anymore. Alright, moving on. America and Seychelles. Seychelles is in a lot of different ships, especially with the Face family, because Seychelles was friends with a colony of France, and was a colony of England, and also the Gokuen game that was cancelled, but Seychelles was supposed to be like the main character, player character, and you interact with different characters and become ships with them. The Seychelles has a good deal of ships, but she also got a good deal of hate because of that game, if I have done my research correctly. I wasn't around to see it, so I don't know, but that's what I've heard. But yeah, American Seychelles, I don't ship it. I don't have any feelings about it. It's just there. It exists. That's all I think about it. Once again, with American and Belarus, opposites attract. Yes. Seychelles is cute. I like Seychelles. I just don't ship her with America. What's the road to come? It's super late, but I don't want to miss anything. We're gonna go over the other hetero ships, and then the end is gonna be femme/ships. So if you like femme/ships, you might want to stay later because that's gonna be after this section. But if you're not really a huge shipper of any of those, then it's fine. Other like hetero ships, a lot of little fish on her head. It's adorable, and she also has little curls. If you notice, next to her bows. Alright, America and Ukraine. I don't ship it either. This is just it for me. It exists. And I'm like, people don't love the hetero ships and they hate it, and I'm like watching all these hetero ships and I'm like, nope. America does have a lot of ships. America and England are the ones I think that have the most ships. I haven't actually counted to make sure that what I'm saying is true, but perception-wise, I perceive that those two have the most ships. America times world is a thing. England times world is also a thing, so they both have a lot of ships. And also it's probably because they kind of have a huge influence around the world, because the British Empire was, around the world. Some there were sets on the British Empire, and then America kind of inherited what the British Empire kind of set up for them, because English became like a international language because of the British Empire, so now America benefits from that. Why do they hate hetero ships? I don't know. Yeah, because they want the gay. But like, you don't have to hate the other ships. They just exist, and you can just tolerate them and scroll by. If you don't like it, just scroll past it and move on. That's my motto. Even if it's something that disgusts me, I just mute it or scroll past it. There's no point commenting on it. There's no point getting into a argument with somebody. Don't waste your time. You have better things to do with your time. Find something that you like, and you'll have a happier life. Alright, America and Vietnam. We talked about this briefly in my last stream. Some people like it, some people don't like it. The only way that I would like it is if someone made like a fan video with Miss Saigon with those two. I would love that. I would love someone making that. But that's pretty much it. I don't ship it otherwise. This one I'm still unsure about. Exactly. I feel unsure about it too. I feel like the only concept I would like it is if someone made a fan video in Miss Saigon. Like, I wouldn't cancel that person. I would be like, oh my god, this is problematic. No. Because I like that musical, and I think it would be interesting if someone did a fan video with America and Vietnam, but that's pretty much it. Mainly because of the Vietnam War, yeah. It's ugly for sure. Alright, that's the end of that slide. Okay. Speaking of problematic ships, China and Taiwan is definitely a problematic ship, and I don't ship it at all. I don't like it at all, and it's for obvious reasons. And it's probably because of my, I guess guys didn't understand what comes after the hetero ship. It's the femme/slash ships, or the lesbian ships that come after. So like Belarus and Hungary, for instance, or Ukraine and Hungary. Yeah, I have very strong opinions about China and Taiwan, so I don't ship this at all. So like, my political opinions bar me from making an idea about it. Yeah, exactly. I think if you make it like an AU, like different, separate from the canon, and make China like a representative of ancient China, and then have Taiwan be like his spiritual successor, that would be kind of a cute dynamic, like teacher-student. But if you think of it like mainland China currently with Taiwan currently, it's not good. The femme/slash ships. The lesbian ships. So like my voice is like getting shot, so like that's why the sound quality isn't that great. Maybe I should decrease the desktop audio. So basically like Hungary and Belarus as a ship, for instance, or Hungary and Ukraine, those kind of ships. So we'll read in that last section. Taiwan does call him teacher, yes. It's cute, if you think of it that way. Okay, I don't really like this one. Like England and Seychelles is kind of, I don't know. I mean, England and Seychelles is actually better than France and Seychelles if you actually look at the history. Like England was a better colonizer than France, but still not that great. Like England hasn't really done much in helping Seychelles become independent, like financially. So like Seychelles is nominally independent, but they're still very dependent on England for finances. But it was cute when he entrusted her with secret knowledge about the honeymoon, and she totally spoiled it for herself. So yeah, that was a cute dynamic for sure. And this is also from the game. All right, what's next? Yes, the tiny fish is adorable. Okay, France and Monaco. I don't ship it because I kind of see them as brother and sister, but there's definitely some like appeal to it. Like they both love fashion, they both like exquisite things, and she's a strong lady, and I think he likes that. And she's pretty. Yeah, they're more along the lines of siblings. Yes. Yeah, I don't ship these two. I just like understand if you do. Yeah, they seem to have a sibling-ish relationship in canon. Yes. All right, France and Seychelles. As I said before, if you look at the history, France and Seychelles have actually have an ugly relationship. I'm really just happy that Monaco's a girl. Okay. Twilight Princess is very happy to see girl characters. France and Seychelles, the history's actually not that great, even though a lot of fan art makes them very cute as father and daughter, which I love father-daughter relationships, so I don't ship them as a couple because of that. I wonder what France would think about Monaco's gambling. I don't know, because, like, I don't know. It depends on what side of France. Like, if France is, I guess France wouldn't like it because I don't think he's a big fan. I don't think he's a big fan of card games. Because like card games is a very like noble, royal thing to do, and that's like cause a lot of waste of money for the common people. And I think France wouldn't really like gambling because of that. I have hard popcorn to get me through the night. I mean, if you need to sleep, go ahead. That's fine. France and Seychelles do have more history together despite the ugly moments, yeah. 11:43. Yeah, that's a bit late. But it's not too late, but it is late. Okay. Chelsea is also shown to like France in a friendly way. Yes. Um, France is also shown to like Seychelles too. I don't know about friendly way. Card games are fun when there's no gambling involved. Yeah, here they are. I like playing one card with my family. Alright, Germany and Seychelles. I don't really know what the idea behind it other than this is from the game. I don't ship it because I don't have anything to base it off of. Let me see how many more I have left. I have 14 hetero ships left, and then the lesbian ships there's only 6 lesbian ships. Just a heads up. It is from the game. That's the only thing I know about is that from the game. Alright, Hong Kong and Seychelles. What do you guys think? This is nothing for me. I will say though, there is actually a sizable Chinese population in Seychelles, so that is a thing. That's kind of, I might explain why Seychelles is a little bit lighter toned, even though I'm still not a big fan of that. Because Seychelles has a mix of Arab ancestry people, African ancestry people, white ancestry people, of course, like French and English, and Chinese people. So, how do people start shipping them? I don't know. This isn't even from the game. This is just it. But I will say that there are Chinese people who live in Seychelles, so maybe that's why. So no woo. Okay. Hong Kong and Taiwan. I think someone said that they shipped them. Maybe that person left. I don't know. But I don't, because I kind of see them as brother and sister. They're teenagers. That's how. They're both teenagers. Yeah, I guess that'd be cute, like a girl meets boy meets girl kind of way. There's very few teenagers in Hetalia, so that's how I believe. Yeah, that makes sense. So if you make like a school AU where you have the teenagers at school, it's a pretty limited pool of people. And you can make them ship each other. Oh, Hetalia, no, I just made your comment like showable because it was being hidden. Anyway, it was like so much earlier. Anyway, this one is interesting too. I guess it's actually a little more, it's not as toxic at least. It's not toxic. But I just see them as siblings. So that's why I don't really ship it. I could see them in a school AU. Yeah, that would be cute. Alright, Italy and Seychelles. I think it was also from the game. That's pretty much it. Speaking of Asian family, I think I did a video on Asian family, though I think I only did Chinese characters. Well, with Mulan Reflection, it was a collab with Chloe the Brain. So if you haven't watched it, you can watch my video. You can also watch her video. We made our own different versions of the mix, and our own fan arts are there. So not our own fan arts, but like our own like fan art collection is there. So you definitely take a look at them. Yeah, it's really that there's no toxicity. Yeah. The only things are also from the game, and that's pretty much it. There's not really much else to say. Like so many, there's like a good number of head ships. There's not really much for me to say about them. And only just flirting with everyone 24/7. Yes, he is. Japan and Taiwan. Well, it can be problematic because Japan occupied Taiwan, but at the same time, Japan has made up for it by supporting Taiwan's status as a country. They've done a much better job than even Korea at doing so these days. So that's why I can see why a ship exists. And I think I'm okay with that. Taiwan also is a big fan of Japan's kawaii culture. Yes, I did When You Believe with China, Korea, and Japan. And Colors of the Wind. Yes, I like those too. Also, I think Just Around the River Bend with them as well. They had the Just Around the River Bend as well. So yeah, Japan and Taiwan, it could be problematic, but there's also like something to offset it. So I can see why it's a ship. And I think I kind of ship them actually as characters. Like I would love to make an AU with them. But yeah, if you're viewing, if you're just listening, it's fine. If you want to make your own opinion or express your opinions about the ships, you can also type that in the chat, and I will talk about it with you. And it's fine if you're just listening, though. Okay, next ship. Lithuania and Belarus. I actually shipped them. I ship them more than Amabel now. So I used to ship America and Belarus, and then I was like, I think China's upset that Taiwan spends more time with. I mean, but obviously though, like why would she spend time with China? I wouldn't if I were Taiwan. So yeah. Lithuania and Belarus, I actually ship them more than America and Belarus now. It's sort of problematic because there are people in Lithuania who think that Lithuania should like have Belarusian territory as their territory, and it's like, okay, that's not right. Like Belarus has a right to be a nation of it in its own right. So there's definitely some toxicity on Lithuania's end actually. And then in canon-wise, there is some toxicity on Belarus's end because she always like breaks his fingers or something. So you have to like disregard canon to really enjoy the ship. I think I made a video with them recently, and there's also a video with them based on Dear Evan Hansen that Chloe the Brain made. I made a video with these two for I See the Light. Yes, he canonically likes her, and she's very much not interested. And also, Russia supports the Russia supports the ship too because he wants Belarus off his back. So he's like, "How about I pair you two up?" But it doesn't really work. Concerning them, I feel the potential for toxicity here too. Not since she broke his fingers, all 10 of them at one point. Exactly, she did. Yeah, it's kind of like, but like that's her end. But if you look at the actual history, there's toxicity on the Lithuania end as well. So, oh no, Hetalia, no, get some water or something, or like cough it out. Okay, I don't know what the logic behind this is, and I don't get it. So, like, if nobody else gets it, I'm just gonna move on. Oh, I think I know this song. No, I don't. It just sounds similar to a classical song. No wonder Russia supports it, yeah. Like, I feel like if it was like an AU where they're like actual people and like they're all nobles or something, and Russia is like in charge of marrying his sister off, he'd be like, okay, Belarus or Natasha, you're gonna, you know, be married off to Tolis, and then I'm gonna be done with you. So that's definitely like a setup for a fanfic for sure. Wait, with Poland? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm just gonna move on. Russia, Liechtenstein. I don't ship it, but there is a very cute video done by Chloe the Brain based off of Greatest Showman's Tightrope. And it's very adorable, and I almost shipped it because of that video, because it's very adorable. So if you're not sure what to think about it, you can definitely check out that video and see what you think about it, because it's adorable. It's super adorable. But a lot of people were joking in the comments about Switzerland coming for Precious Ass, and that's probably going to happen. Yeah, that was an interesting love triangle for sure. Then you can make a love square. Liechtenstein is 14. I mean, I guess you have to like. She's like, I never even registered she was 14. I always felt like she was grown up, but if she's canonically 14, that would be weird. Like, her country's been around for so long, so it's kind of like, oh, she's an adult. I just assumed that she was an adult. She's 14. OMG, that's weird. I literally assumed that she was an adult because she's been around for a while. To be honest, they kind of look cute. Yeah, they do. If she's an adult, I guess you have to age her up for it to work. No, I legit thought she was an adult. I don't know why she's 14, because, like, her country's pretty, like, important. Like, if you actually look at the history, she's done stuff, so. She's 14, period. Okay, okay. We'll move on to the next ship. Prussia and Hungary, finally. Pruhan is finally arrived, and I feel like it wasn't in the top 10, but probably is in, like, the top 20 at least for fanfics. And obviously it's popular. And a lot of you shipped it. Me and the boys on the way to cure the shipping world. Yeah, she's not in the anime, but in history she's old. Exactly. Like, Liechtenstein's been around for a while. Like, I can understand Iceland being young, or Hong Kong being young, or America being young, or even, like, maybe even Latvia, maybe, but, like, Liechtenstein? Switzerland is 18? What? No, there's no way he's like 18 and like America's 19. Bruhan is okay, I guess. Ooh. Yeah, I like kind of ship them as well. Like I said before in my last stream, like if it was a K-drama and there was someone was setting up this like love triangle, I probably would have shipped Bruhan because they knew each other longer. Something at to be. I mean, I guess I might have shipped Austria because. Like someone like Austria with Hungary because he plays music, but most likely I would ship the two childhood friends and then I would ship the musician with me. Okay, the musician is with me, not with the female character. That's how it works for me. I know you can say it in all caps, but like, I guess like the age thing. Someone said earlier like the age thing is kind of confusing because like it kind of disregards the history, but in a sense that like these countries are older and have like a lot of like maturity. I mean, someone said earlier like Latvia has a maturity because he's been through a lot, even though he's a kid. So like he in Finland doesn't work because of that. I think it was you who said that too. Anyway, at some point something must have happened. Where? Okay, Romano and Belgium. I don't ship it because they met when Romano was a kid. And Belgium's kind of like a big sister thing. So I don't ship it. But it was cute that Romano tried to like get her to like him, but that's not gonna work. Not unless you create your own like universe where they meet each other as adults. Yeah, Romano looks cute because Belgium is such a strong female character. She can make Romano blush, yeah. But like Romano was a kid when he first met her. It'll be like I guess it'll be like Anakin and Padme if you're like Star Wars fans, because like technically Anakin and Padme met when, but Padme was still a kid though, like a teenager, unlike Anakin was a kid. More like a sibling relationship, exactly, like big sister, little brother. I feel like it was only a kid crush. Yeah, I agree. All right, something that if Russia was like a real person and he was in this chat, he would say no to like real fast. but this is the Russia-Belarus ship, and it's actually pretty popular too, despite Russia's dislike of her advances. I got no idea what's happening. Well, we've gone through like most of the ships already, so like all the slash ships have been gone through. Not all of them, but like all of the ones that are prepared have been run through, and we're now going through the hetero ships, and then we'll finish off with the lesbian ships. Who do you ship Belgium with? Russia would deny the ship hard. Exactly. So like they're very much like brother and sister, at least in his point of view. So yes, we're talking about the hetero ships. Alright, I don't like this one. I'm just gonna put that out there. Finally, another Russia toxic ship. Oh my gosh. There's too many of them. You'll see who I ship Belgium. It might not show up because I haven't done like all the ships, so it might not show up, but it might though. You'll see. But yeah, this one doesn't work for me. Alright, I'm gonna see, do you ship this one? This is Spain and Belgium. I actually kind of shipped them too. I made a couple of videos with them as a couple, and I like the dynamic. It's very cute. I'm wondering if this is the ship you're talking about. It's either this one or Netherlands and Belgium. It's one of those two. Why is Russia? Because Russia's done some bad things. Ooh, Midnight Crew. The card verse, maybe. Yeah, I'll expand Belgium. Deep in the friend zone. Low key, very wholesome. Yeah, it is. I mean, I've thought of up stories of these two together, so I like the dynamic for sure. Yeah, he would not. He would not. All right. This is an interesting element. People always talk about Prussia or Austria, but not many people talk about Spain. Technically, Spain would have interacted with Hungary a lot because he was part of the Austrian Empire back when it was the Habsburg Empire, and so that was the Habsburg Empire, the marriage that Austria was in before the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. So yeah, this is interesting. Why the ship? Well, as I said, Spain was part of the Austrian Empire for a bit, and Hungary was there. So they could have interacted during those days. And I did read a fun fanfic. It was ultimately an Oz-Hun fanfic, but Spain was like, Austria and Spain and Hungary were having like a music session, and Spain and Hungary started dancing because they both liked dancing. And Austria got a bit jealous in the fanfic. Spain actually did not have feelings for Hungary, and neither does Hungary had feelings for Spain in the fanfic, but Austria got jealous anyway, and that was funny. Hungary and Austria was married. Well, the Habsburg Empire, which is before the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, is Austria's first marriage. So, like, Austria was married with Spain first, and Hungary was still part of the territory. And then it became the Austrian-Hungarian Empire once Spain was lost to France. And so, I didn't even include Spain and France as a ship in the slides. Anyway, Spain was lost to France, and so it became the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. So that's when Austria and Hungary were married. So Spain and Austria were also briefly married as well. You changed my mind. Spain is her type. So yeah, Austria got jealous, but it was really just a thing. I actually found fan art of Spain. Also, I didn't put Spain and Austria as a ship too. That's actually a nice ship. Yeah. Okay, I think Hetalia would probably really hate this ship, and actually I don't ship this either because they're brother and sister for me. Also, like Hetalia would probably like scream that they're she's 14. So this is a bit of a yuck for me. Yeah, big yikes. Like nope. I know it was like fairly popular, that's why I put it on here, but it's definitely a yikes. I'm gonna quickly move on because we all agree this is a big no. All right, China and Taiwan. Did we went back to the beginning of this thing? Okay, let's start the next one. Okay, finally we are doing the lesbian ships. So this is very rare. I think there's only 6 of them if I count it correctly. So we're probably gonna go through them pretty quickly. Okay, Belarus and Hungary. Yeah, the FBI definitely yeeted it out of there. Yes, we did already have that, so I'm moving on to the lesbian ships. I kind of like this in the sense they're both pretty tough women, but I don't. That's pretty much it. They're both tough women. But I don't necessarily think that they would necessarily get along just from like a character standpoint. Maybe as like friends. I think they would be good as friends. But I don't know about a ship for sure. But like I think as friends, like girlfriends, looking out for each other in the big city, that'd be cute. This one would also not work because Liechtenstein is pretty young, but they do make a very cute friendship. I like how Liechtenstein kind of like braids Belarus's hair. This is canon. She braids Belarus's hair. It kind of helps Belarus embrace her like ladylike side, which I thought was very adorable. So as friends, that's a pretty cool relationship. As like a relationship, no. Yeah, they would be really cute as friends for sure. Yeah, older sister, best friendship. Yep. Yeah. Okay, this is weird for me because I really do see them as sisters, and so I don't ship it. And then like sisterhood is also an interesting dynamic, which is a reason why I really like Frozen, the movie. So and I think I did do a like Frozen. Do you want to build a snowman? Talking about these two as sisters, as well as with Russia. So it was like a trio thing, and like in like an action movie, it's 2 people. But yeah. Alright, moving on. Hungary, Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein's a bit young, but there is a oh my gosh, Erica. Um but there is actually a canon interaction. It was actually Hungary, Liechtenstein, and Ukraine sitting together talking about women's fashion and stuff. And so they definitely make a cute friendship, but that's pretty much it. Oh well, Hetalia. It's good to have people like holding people accountable. Um, for me though, I'm not really a huge fan of like going out of my way and finding people who ship problematic ships and like, uh, telling them not to do it because it's wrong. Probably because there's no point. Not because I disagree with doing that. Like if you do it, it's fine. It's just that like for me, there's no point because all that person's gonna do is get defensive and not listen to what you're trying to say. So all I do is just mute them because if you mute them or block them, that's gonna affect their numbers and eventually they'll just kind of disappear off the face of the internet because not many people are looking at them. So that's the best way to combat it. Because if you like directly go to that person's not gonna listen to you. They're just gonna act like terrible people like they are, and then it's not gonna work. Yeah, they talk about girl stuff, like friends. They are friends. Yes, they are friends. Alright, Taiwan and Hungary. I don't know anything about this. I mean, they're both cute, and I think they're both really like similar types of pop culture things. Like, they both really like cute things, and they both really like shipping. So, like, I think it would work as far as like friends go. But that's pretty much it. There's definitely a line between problematic and illegal. Yeah, I mean, if it's illegal, that's true. Like, especially if you're like your job is to do something to like enforce law, that's like important for you to do that. And if you see something, then you should say something. Not so much to the person doing it, but like if you want to report it to like, so if you're on Twitter and you see something that's illegal, you can report it to Twitter, or if you want to report it to the proper authorities, that's true. That's something you can do too. I just don't recommend like directly confronting the people who post those things because that could put you in a dangerous situation as well as waste a lot of your time because that person is not going to listen to you. So yeah, if you see something that's like illegal, you should definitely report it. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't think there's really a connection between them. Yeah, there's not really much of a connection. But I think they all might share many interests. Like if you decide to like put them in together in the same room, you can definitely find some interesting things. It's like a thought experiment. Okay, this is a really popular ship as far as like among these types of ships, and this might be the last one that I've put on here. Yes, it is. I actually kind of like it though, because it's just cute. And they can be girls and they can vent about things that they're upset about, but they also can like do girly things. So I think they're the only girls among the Asians. I'm not gonna report. Yeah, you don't wanna. But I'm talking about like if you see just things illegal things in general, then you should report to local authorities if you feel like that's necessary. This one is cute. Yeah, I think these two are sisters. I mean, you can think of it that way. But I don't know. Like, so a lot of people like to group Asians into like one big family, but I'm very uncomfortable doing that because it's like really not much in common. Like, if you really look at it, like Vietnam is its own thing, and they have their own like their own culture is so different from like Chinese culture, so I don't see them as sisters. It's not even like I mean, there's like some influences, but a lot of it is just their own thing. Um, it's not like England and America where like English culture impacted American culture and then American culture kind of grew from that foundation. It's not like that. So Vietnam has its own culture and then China's a really big country that's near it, so there's some influence, but Vietnam still has its own culture. So I don't really see them as like as sisters as much. Yes. Yes, sweet. All right. I know some of you, it must be really late. So if it is late, I recommend that you go to sleep. Um, but if you can make it to my other YouTube channel, I'm going to be streaming a game And I'll be taking a vote as whether or not you want to see Myoji, which is a Japanese fighter game, or if you want to see Animal Crossing. So it's kind of up to you. And I'm going to be starting at 8 p.m., so it's about 2 hours from now, and that's going to be the end of the stream. Yeah, this is the end of the stream. I will keep this up though, problematic ships and all, for people to view. And so I'll tell you who I shipped Belgium with. Yeah, because like it didn't show up. So, well, what's the ship? Hungary? Yeah, I didn't put that on here. That's very interesting. Bye. Yeah, have a good night. So, are any of you gonna catch my gaming stream? Nice. I don't really see it though. I don't really know. Yeah, so I have made a gaming channel called Gao Sky Crossing. It's on the screen right now, and I'll be streaming a game, either Animal Crossing or on Myoji, tonight at 8 p.m. So yeah, catch me on there, and so I'll just end the stream right now. And if I'm not gonna see you again, I'll be streaming a multi-lane project next week, same time. And have a good rest of your day or good night, and bye.